Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I became stronger by spending money. I became an emperor before the entrance examination. Chapter 31. Soon after, Yi Dahai returned home with a tired body. Yi Tian directly transferred 100,000 yuan to his father, showing the cultivation of a level 4 warrior, and repeated what he said to his mother to his father. After listening to Yi Tian's narration, Yi Dahai was stunned for a long time before he came back to his senses. But he still felt that what he heard was a little unreal. His precious son became a warrior, made a lot of money, or a genius in the Genius Pavilion of Thunder Martial Arts Hall. But like Wu Fang, he did not doubt Yi Tian, just happy for Yi Tian, but he couldn't control the smile on his face. Don't mention how happy he was. His son has made progress. Great progress. As a father, he was naturally very happy. In the evening, Yi Tian returned to the room and took out the things that the two kings gave him. A general-level secret technique. 50 low-grade yuan stones. There is also a bottle of low-grade thunder yuan liquid. The secret technique was given by Yao Jinlei, called Dayin Qi Ju. After learning the content of this secret technique, Yi Tian showed a joyful expression on his face. The great hidden Qi Ju, as the name suggests, can hide one's own breath and not be seen by others. This secret technique of hiding breath is also an advanced version of the hidden Qi Ju he practiced, which can be said to be of the same origin. Once this general-level secret technique is practiced to perfection, one's own breath can be hidden more thoroughly, and even a martial king strongman cannot see it in person. Such a secret technique is undoubtedly too suitable for him. Yi Tian understands that the purpose of the Thunder King giving him this secret technique is to protect him. Yi Tian understands the truth that a tree that stands out in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. With this secret technique, his cultivation will not be easily discovered by others. It can reduce a lot of trouble for himself. Yi Tian immediately asked the system to recharge the Yuanxi and Thunder Yuani, and obtained a total of 8,000 wealth points. Seeing so much wealth, Yi Tian had to thank the second king for his generosity. In the future, I will go to see his daughter reluctantly. After all, I am short of money. Isn't he just 14 years old? It's fine as long as you don't understand it in depth. I guess it won't work. System, practice, Dayin Qi Ju. Ding, consume 2,000 points of wealth, practice Dayin Qi Ju to perfection. After the system prompt sound ended, Yi Tian received a lot of memories of practicing this secret art. He immediately activated this secret art, as the vitality in his body circulated according to a specific vein. Yi Tian's aura continued to decline, and when he activated this secret art to the extreme, his aura disappeared without a trace. You wouldn't notice Yi Tian here without looking. Yi Tian had a smile on his lips. He was very satisfied with the effect of this secret art. Next, Yi Tian used 5,000 points of wealth to raise the Thunder Blast Step and Thunder Slashing Sword technique to the great perfection level. It's a pity that there is a shortfall of 100 points of wealth, otherwise my cultivation level can be raised to the 4th level of martial artist. But with 2 king level ultimate martial arts in hand, I think my current strength and combat power will not have any problem dealing with some ordinary martial masters. Even if I face a 7th or 8th level martial artist who has practiced a general level technique in martial arts, I can easily kill him. Yi Tian is still somewhat confident about this. He glanced at the attribute panel. Host, Yi Tian. Strength, level 3 martial artist. Technique, Thunder King technique, king level ultimate, perfect. Martial arts, Thunder Slashing Sword technique, king level ultimate, ultimate Thunder Violent Step, king level ultimate, ultimate Layered Wave Sword technique, initial, perfect Spirit Bird Step, initial, perfect. Secret technique, Great Hidden Qi Ju, general level, perfect Hidden Qi Ju, intermediate, perfect. Weapon, Black Gold Long Sword, Commodore level. Other items, Space Bag 2, pills, primary combat uniform, etc., food, water. Wealth value, 1,400. After parting with his parents the next day, Yi Tian came to the Fallen Leaf Forest again. The Fallen Leaf Forest is roughly divided into 3 areas, the outer area, the inner area, and the deep area. The outer area is mostly active with 1st and 2nd level exotic beasts, the inner area is mostly active with 3rd level exotic beasts, and the deep area is the territory of some powerful 3rd and 4th level exotic beasts. With the cultivation of a martial artist, Yi Tian went directly to the inner area this time. The mountains and forests in the inner area are more dense. The surrounding trees are taller and thicker, and the vitality in the forest is much richer than outside. However, the density of exotic beasts here is very low. Yi Tian searched for more than an hour and did not encounter a third-level exotic beast. Instead, he encountered several second-level exotic beasts that dared to break into this area. After killing these second-level exotic beasts, Yi Tian finally gathered enough wealth points and raised his cultivation to the fourth-level martial artist realm. After switching to cultivation, because each realm requires more vitality, the wealth points required to upgrade the realm have increased accordingly. To upgrade the martial artist realm, each small realm requires 1,500 points of wealth points. Although it was only a small realm improvement, it was still a big improvement for Yi Tian's strength. But it's really hard to find a third-level exotic beast. I don't know how much wealth the beast core of a third-level exotic beast is worth. Yi Tian carefully searched in the dense forest. Kakaka. His feet stepped on the dead branches and leaves, making a cracking sound. Swish. At this moment, on a thick tree behind Yi Tian, a black shadow suddenly shot towards him. Look carefully. The black shadow was a black snake more than 20 meters long. The snake's body was as thick as a bucket, and the black scales were densely packed, covering the whole body like fine iron, emitting a faint light. At this moment, the black snake opened its mouth and bit Yi Tian fiercely. Its mouth opened and closed widely, enough to swallow an adult sow. After entering this mountain forest, Yi Tian has been on guard. When the black snake launched a sneak attack on him, Yi Tian noticed it at the first time. Swish. There was a flash of lightning under his feet. The whole person moved sideways several meters away in an instant. Just as his body moved away, the head of the black snake bit the place where Yi Tian disappeared. Bang! The huge bite force made the air make a muffled sound. Realizing that it did not bite the prey, the black snake turned its head and attacked Yi Tian again. At this time, Yi Tian had already seen what attacked him. When he saw the black snake, Yi Tian's eyes seemed to be burning with raging fire, and the whole person became angry. Blood poison python. Die. Yes, it was the blood poison python that attacked him, a third-level, fifth-level beast. Although this blood poison python was not the blood poison python that bit off his mother that year, after seeing its appearance, Yi Tian's mind emerged the scene of his mother pushing him away to save him 10 years ago and being bitten off by the blood poison python. Clang! The black gold long sword was unsheathed. Crackling! The sound of thunder burst out, and a thunder-killing sword energy was formed in an instant. Yi Tian immediately slashed at the blood poison python. His sword energy was extremely powerful, and it was also blessed by the Brigadier General. Although the physical defense of the blood poison python at level 3 and level 5 was very strong, especially the scales on its body were much stronger than the defense of some martial artists' vitality yarn clothes. But its defense was like paper under Yi Tian's sharp and powerful attack. With a sizzling sound, an ugly snake head flew up, and the long snake body fell heavily to the ground. Get rid of this blood poison python. Yi Tian quickly found an egg-sized beast core and a fist-sized blood essence from its snake head. Put the blood essence into the space bag, and Yi Tian asked the system to recharge the beast core. Obtained 1,300 wealth points. After putting the body of the blood poison python into the space bag, Yi Tian continued to search in this mountain forest. His luck was good next, and he found a target in just over half an hour. This is a third order, level 2 silver spiked porcupine. The size of an adult cow. The more than 1 foot long thorns on its back are like arrows made of fine iron, densely packed, and frightening to see. At the same time that Yi Tian saw the silver spiked porcupine, it also saw Yi Tian. The silver spiked porcupine regarded Yi Tian as its prey, and immediately sent out a thorn, bursting towards it. Swish! The silver thorns were very fast, and the friction of the air made a sound of breaking through the air. Dang! However, this level of attack still has a certain deterrent effect on ordinary martial artists, but it is not a threat in front of Yi Tian. Yi Tian then picked up the thorns that burst towards him with a knife, and then activated the spirit bird step. In an instant, he came to the front of the silver-spiked porcupine. With a swish, the black gold long knife fell and easily cut off the head of the silver-spiked porcupine. In addition to the beast core, the most valuable thing on the silver-spiked porcupine is these silver thorns, which can be sold for a lot of money. Yi Tian only took out the beast core and blood essence, and was about to put the whole silver-spined porcupine into the space bag. 4 men and women in intermediate combat uniforms came out of the dense forest in front. They looked at the body of the silver-spined porcupine on the ground, and then looked at the overly young Yi Tian, and a hint of incredible surprise flashed in their eyes. The leader of the 4 was a middle-aged man. He was wearing a black combat uniform and no weapons on his back. He must have space equipment such as space bags or space rings on his body. He rolled his eyes, and then walked to Yi Tian with a smile on his face, clasped his fists and made a warrior salute. Little brother can kill a 3rd-level silver-spined porcupine alone, which is really a good skill. Wu admires it. Let me introduce myself. I am Wu Zongming, a level 6 martial artist. These are my teammates. As he said, Wu Zongming waved to the 2 men and 1 woman behind him. Seeing him wave, the 3 walked to Yi Tian together, and seemed to understand Wu Zongming's thoughts. The 2 men were probably in their early 30s, twins, looked very similar, and were both very strong. One wore a blue combat uniform, and the other wore a cyan combat uniform. It was estimated that they had killed many monsters, and there were a lot of blood on their combat uniforms. Their names were Wu Daming and Wu Xiaoming, both level 4 martial artists. However, the 2 were obviously not very unfriendly to Yi Tian. They simply said their names and ignored Yi Tian. The only female was Xu Rong, about 30 years old. A level 4 martial artist, she wore a light red combat uniform, with a graceful figure and a long figure, giving people a feeling of being a heroine. She also looked very good, with a heroic spirit between her eyebrows, and carrying a long heavy sword on her back. Perhaps it was because Yi Tian was too handsome, or perhaps it was because she was kind to others. She smiled and greeted Yi Tian. Yi Tian nodded to a few people, then put the porcupine into the space bag, looked at Wu Zongming, clasped his fists and returned the greeting, saying, "Hello, Brother Wu, I am Tianyi, I wonder what you want to see me for." The other party took the initiative to greet him. Obviously there was something wrong. However, in the wild environment with dangers everywhere, Yi Tian also became a little defensive. He did not retract the long knife in his hand. Seeing Yi Tian's cautious attitude, Wu Zongming still had a smile on his face and said, "To be honest, I found a valley before, where many yuan medicines grow. If I sell them outside, it will definitely be a very considerable income. But there are many strange beasts guarding that valley. I am no match for those beasts, so I had to turn back. I happened to meet Brother Wu and Sister Xu Rong on the way. We plan to go there again to kill those beasts and pick yuan medicines. But the beasts there are very agile, and we lack a teammate with the same agility. If we can hold back some beasts to relieve our pressure, I believe we can definitely kill those beasts this time and get all the yuan medicines in that valley. Brother, you can kill the silver thorn porcupine, a beast that attacks without dead ends. I guess you are very proficient in body skills. I wonder if you are interested in joining us to hunt those beasts together." Wu Zongming gave people a very familiar feeling. After a few words, he called himself brother. However, after listening to Wu Zongming's explanation, Yi Tian became very interested. He had been here for a long time before he killed 2 third-level beasts. Yi Tian was not afraid of not being able to beat the beasts, but was afraid of not having any beasts to kill. Yi Tian understood that the 3rd-level beasts were already quite powerful, and they began to have a sense of territory with each other, and they needed a lot of food, so naturally they could not be dispersed too densely. Now that he had learned from the middle-aged man that there was a place with many beasts, he was naturally moved. However, Yi Tian did not show this point, but only a little interest, and asked again. "I wonder what kind of beasts are in that valley. How many? What are they? And how to distribute the final income?" Yi Tian asked these questions for safety reasons, and he only showed the cultivation of a 2nd-level martial artist now, so he naturally had to perform as well as his realm. Seeing the expression on Yi Tian's face, Wu Zongming was delighted, knowing that he had the opportunity to invite Yi Tian. He did not hide it, and introduced, "To be honest, there is a group of iron-clawed monkeys living in that valley, with a number of about 30 or so. But don't worry, brother. Most of those iron claw monkeys are level 1 and level 2. There are only 7 level 3 Iron Claw monkeys, including 2 level 3 level 1, 3 level 3 level 4, and 2 level 3 level 5. Brother, leave the 3 level 3 level 4 Iron Claw monkeys to Brother Wu and Sister Shurong, and leave the 2 level 3 level 5 Iron Claw monkeys to me. If you are willing to join us, just entangle the 2 level 3 level 1 Iron Claw monkeys and those level 1 and 2 Iron Claw monkeys. We will support you as soon as we solve our respective opponents. After killing all the Iron Claw monkeys, we will distribute the harvest according to work. If there are precious treasures, the person with the most merits will choose first. What do you think? With Yi Tian's cultivation, he can naturally deal with 2 level 3 level 1 and level 1 and 2 Iron Claw monkeys. He even killed the group of Iron Claw monkeys by himself. But Yi Tian showed the cultivation of a level 2 martial artist, so he naturally had to do things that suited his level 2 martial artist. Yi Tian frowned immediately, looking like he was having a hard time making a decision. Seeing this, Wu Zongming was a little worried that Yi Tian was scared. But he had to say this, because he had already agreed on a battle plan with the other 3 people, and now he naturally couldn't change it. Glancing at the primary combat uniform on Yi Tian, Wu Zongming gritted his teeth and took out a set of intermediate combat uniforms from the space bag, reluctantly handed it to Yi Tian and said, "Brother, if you are worried that you can't hold back those Iron Claw monkeys, I can lend you this set of intermediate combat uniforms. Of course, even if you damage this set of combat uniforms in the battle, I won't let you pay for it. What do you think?" Wu Zongming felt that this should be able to impress Yi Tian, as for after solving those Iron Claw monkeys. Humph, let's wait and see. Seeing this, Yi Tian pretended to be moved. The primary combat uniform on him was taken from a warrior he killed before, so it was naturally not as defensive as the intermediate combat uniform. After pretending to hesitate for a while, Yi Tian finally nodded and agreed. After Yi Tian agreed, Wu Zongming asked several people to hurry on their way. All 5 of them were martial arts masters and were very fast. About half an hour later, they came to a forest. A few dozen meters in front of the forest was a valley that was hundreds of meters deep and 20 to 30 meters wide. The trees in the valley were very tall and thick. The innermost unknown tree was more than 30 meters tall, with a trunk 5 or 6 meters thick. The branches and leaves were lush and covered the sky. There were many tree holes on it, and from time to time you could see some monkeys covered with gray hair coming in and out of them. The small monkeys were more than 1 meter tall, and their bodies were similar to those of ordinary gray apes. The big ones were more than 2 meters tall, with big shoulders and waists. Those more than 1 meter tall were all first-level Iron Claw monkeys. Those more than 2 meters tall were basically second-level Iron Claw monkeys, but there were no third-level Iron Claw monkeys. There were many yuan medicines distributed in the valley. Yuanqi grass, blood jade grass, 3-color peony, Ganoderma lucidum, Polygonidum. Most of them were basic yuan medicines, and there were also many primary yuan medicines. What attracted everyone's attention the most was a green tree more than 1 meter high among many yuan yao species, on which hung 3 egg-sized and 1 fist-sized green fruits. Qingyuan fruit. There is actually a Qingyuan fruit that is close to the high-level yuan fruit. Seeing the fist-sized fruit, Wu Daming, one of the Wu brothers, exclaimed. His eyes were fixed on the fist-sized fruit, and his breathing became rapid. When Wu Xiaoming and Xu Rong saw the fist-sized Qingyuan fruit, their eyes were also full of surprise, and then turned into strong eagerness and desire. This fruit contains pure Qingyuan yuanqi, which is very suitable for cultivation or breaking the mirror. And it is an improvement in realm without any side effects. In addition to this advantage, Qingyuan fruit also has a good healing effect, and anyone can be sold at a high price in the market. Thinking of the effect of Qingyuan fruit, Yi Tian's heart was also moved. If I give my mom the Baluodin and the fist-sized Qingyuan fruit, maybe she can completely recover from her injuries. When I get the Shengji Zalwadin to regenerate my mom's broken limbs, she can walk like a normal person, and maybe she can turn a disaster into a blessing, and her cultivation level will rise. And my dad's health has been getting worse over the years. If he eats the remaining Qingyuan fruit, his body may be able to recover to the state of a normal person, and there is a great chance that he will break through to the warrior realm. They are all good things. Thinking of the benefits of Qingyuan fruit, Yi Tian's eyes flashed with joy. But he could see that others wanted Qingyan fruit very much. I hope that I will have more merits at that time, so I can be selected first. Although distribution is based on work, there is also a priority in choosing rewards. Looking at the eager expressions on the faces of several people for Qingyan fruit, Wu Zongming also showed a satisfied smile in his heart. The precious yuan fruit like Qingyan fruit is right in front of us, so I'm not afraid that you won't try your best. Brother Wu, Sister Shu Rong, and Brother Tianyi, you have seen the yuan fruit. I didn't lie to you. What we need to do now is to kill those iron claw monkeys, otherwise we can only think about those yuan fruits. After Wu Zongming finished speaking, he pointed to the entrance of the valley. There was a tree more than 10 meters high, which blocked most of the entrance of the valley. On the tree were 6 second-level iron claw monkeys and 2 third-level and 4th-level iron claw monkeys more than 3 meters high. They kept scanning the surroundings with their gray eyes. It is obvious that these strange beasts are not low in intelligence and know how to divide the work. They are on guard. In fact, I have a good idea, which is to send someone to attract those iron claw monkeys and kill them. It would be even better if we could attract the 2 third-level and 4th-level iron claw monkeys. We can deal with the remaining iron claw monkeys more easily. What do you think? Wu Zongming glanced at a few people, and then looked at the brothers of the Wu family. He obviously wanted the Wu brothers to express their opinions first. The Wu brothers saw what Wu Zongming meant and did not avoid it. The eldest brother, Wu Daming, spoke first. He looked directly at Yi Tian and said, "Since this brother Tianyi was recruited into our team because of his good physical skills, let him attract those iron claw monkeys." Wu Zhaoming followed his elder brother's opinion and nodded, saying, "Attracting iron claw monkeys is the most suitable job for little brother Tianyi. We are too strong and willing to be bait. Those iron claw monkeys may not catch up." Seeing that the two finished talking, Wu Zongming did not speak, and turned to look at Shu Rong on the side. Shu Rong thought for a while and said, "Iron claw monkeys are famous for their flexibility, especially now they are in the woods. Those second-level iron claw monkeys don't matter, but little brother Tianyi is only a second-level martial artist. How can he escape from the hands of 2 third-level and 4th-level iron claw monkeys? My suggestion is that the Wu brothers can be the bait. Not only are they level 4 martial artists, they are also proficient in a combined attack martial art. It is not a problem to deal with the 2 level 4 iron claw monkeys of the 3rd order. As for those who are afraid that they are too strong to attract them, they can show weakness to the enemy first. Even if the Wu brothers cannot attract them, they don't have to worry about them not coming back. Of course, if the Wu brothers don't want to be bait, there is no problem. We can actually rush up together quickly and kill those iron claw monkeys. As long as we are fast enough, we can do it without alarming the army of iron claw monkeys on the main tree." Shu Rong's analysis is well-reasoned and reasonable. Even if the Wu brothers want to refute, they can't find a reason to refute. However, Yi Tian was surprised after hearing her words. He didn't understand why a stranger would speak for him, but he still cast a grateful look at the other party according to his current identity as the weakest. After listening to Shu Rong's words, Wu Zongming said, "What Sister Shu Rong said makes sense, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Those 2 level 3, level 5 iron claw monkeys are very fast. If we fail to kill them in time, we will be besieged. In this environment, once we are besieged by those iron claw monkeys, it will be very disadvantageous for us." After analyzing the pros and cons, Wu Zongming cunningly threw the question to Yi Tian and asked, "Brother Tianyi, what do you think?" Yi Tian did not answer the other party immediately. He first looked carefully at the faces of the 4 people. When the brothers Wu Daming and Wu Zhaoming heard Wu Zongming talking about being besieged, their faces changed. Obviously, they were also worried about being besieged by iron claw monkeys in this environment. When Shu Rong saw Yi Tian looking at her, she smiled and nodded. Wu Zongming still had a seemingly honest smile on his face, but behind this smile, Yi Tian saw hypocrisy and cunning. Yi Tian stared at Wu Zongming's eyes and said with a smile, "Brother Wu, you treated me as a brother just now, and asked me to hold back 2 level 1 iron claw monkeys of level 3 and some other level 1 and 2 iron claw monkeys. But now you let me be bait to attract those iron claw monkeys, especially there are 2 level 4 iron claw monkeys of level 3. Your inconsistent attitude makes it difficult for me to believe your sincerity at the beginning. I am now worried that after we really kill those iron claw monkeys, will you turn your face and refuse to admit it and give me a reward? You won't even give me the spoils of the Wu brothers and sister Shu Rong. After all, you are the strongest here. Even if we don't want to agree, we probably won't be able to do it, don't you think? Yi Tian didn't spoil Wu Zongming. Let alone the 2 level 4 iron claw monkeys of level 3, he wouldn't care even if all the iron claw monkeys in the valley came together. They can be killed in minutes. Yi Tian, who possesses the king level ultimate martial arts, believes that his speed can far exceed those iron-clawed monkeys, which are famous for their speed, even in this mountain forest. So he is not afraid of falling out with Wu Zongming directly. The worst result is that this hypocritical guy gets angry and attacks him. In this case, he just has a reason to kill him directly. In this way, he can choose those Qingyuan fruits at random. However, Yi Tian is a man who distinguishes between gratitude and resentment and is very principled. Since he agreed to kill the iron-clawed monkeys with Wu Zongming and others to share the benefits, he will not forget his loyalty and backstab his teammates. Even if his strength can do it, he is unwilling to lose his inner perseverance for this little benefit. But if Wu Zongming does not follow the rules first, don't blame him for turning his face and being ruthless. How is this possible, Brother Tianyi? Don't be angry, am I not discussing with you? The plan has not been determined yet. Wu Zongming obviously did not expect Yi Tian to talk to him like this, almost tearing his face. He thought Yi Tian was just a young boy, and his cultivation was the lowest among them, so he could easily control the other party. Moreover, he deliberately asked the Wu brothers, who seemed to dislike Yi Tian, to express their opinions first. He was also very satisfied with the opinions of the Wu brothers, but Shu Rong's opinion surprised him a little. He thought that Shu Rong would not oppose even if she did not support it, and it would be good if she could be neutral. Then he analyzed the pros and cons and put the pressure on Yi Tian, so he could easily kidnap the other party and let this boy take the initiative. But Wu Zongming never expected that this young boy, who looked young, was not afraid of him at all. The strange beast had not been killed yet, and he didn't want to break up the team's heart now, so he laughed it off. After Yi Tian finished speaking, Wu Zongming could feel that the eyes of the Wu brothers and Shu Rong looking at him had changed a lot. They no longer trusted him as much as they did at the beginning. It's all this young boy's fault. Wait, after killing those iron claw monkeys, I will let you know the consequences of offending me. And the Wu brothers, Shu Rong, do you really think I will share the benefits with you? What a joke. Seeing that Wu Zongming wanted to ease the relationship, Yi Tian was not a person who would not give up even if he was right, but he also smiled lightly, crossed his arms and said, since it is a negotiation, then it must be okay for me not to agree, right? No problem, of course no problem. Wu Zongming shook his head repeatedly. Having said that, he naturally had no reason to let Yi Tian be the bait. Wu Zongming immediately changed the subject and suggested that everyone should act together as Shu Rong said to catch the other party off guard. Seeing that Wu Zongming retreated like this, Yi Tian felt a little bit sorry. After the discussion, several people quietly approached the big tree at the entrance of the valley. When they were more than 20 meters away from the big tree at the entrance of the valley, they could no longer approach quietly. Because there was a vacuum zone in front of them, there were no trees to block their tracks. Wu Zongming then made a gesture to several people to go out together. In order to show his attitude and position, he rushed out first. Seeing Wu Zongming rushing over first, Yi Tian and others also followed him with their body movements and martial arts. A distance of more than 20 meters took less than a second for several people. When several people rushed over, those second-level iron claw monkeys did not react and their heads were cut off. However, the 2 third-level 4-level iron claw monkeys reacted quickly. When they saw Yi Tian and others rushing out of the woods, they raised their heads and shouted. The sound was very loud, covering thousands of square meters. Immediately, they did not attack, but retreated directly into the valley. At the same time, more than 20 iron claw monkeys on the main tree in the valley all rushed over. The 2 third-level 5-level iron claw monkeys led the way. Although they were tall, they were extremely fast. They were like 2 gray lights, and they arrived in front of the 5 people in a breath and attacked them. At this time, the other iron claw monkeys also came over. Wu Zongming saw this and immediately shouted, fight according to the original plan. As he said that, he held a broadsword and took the initiative to fight the two most powerful 3rd level 5 level Iron Claw monkeys. The two 3rd level 5 level Iron Claw monkeys also realized that Wu Zongming was the strongest among the 5, and gave up killing others and killed Wu Zongming together. The Wu brothers and Shu Rong each chose a 3rd level 4 level Iron Claw monkey to fight. The remaining two 3rd level 1 level Iron Claw monkeys saw that there was still a soft persimmon Yi Tian, and immediately killed Yi Tian. They are 3rd level beasts, and they have already opened their spiritual intelligence. Although not as high as human intelligence, it is not low. They can judge from the fluctuations of vitality emanating from the 5 people that Yi Tian is the weakest among the 5. Even so, they realized that they were no match for Yi Tian, and called for other level 2 and 1 Iron Claw monkeys to come and kill him. These level 2 and 1 Iron Claw monkeys did not dare to deal with other people, and seeing the two level 3 and 1 Iron Claw monkeys calling, they all rushed to kill Yi Tian. At least Yi Tian was much weaker than the other 4. These Iron Claw monkeys were very fast, constantly jumping on the surrounding trees, and then sneaking up from behind without any martial ethics. Some of them used their hard iron claws to grab hundreds of kilograms of stones and wood and smashed them at Yi Tian. Some suddenly shot over. Some also shook up the fallen leaves to block Yi Tian's sight. They cooperated very well. Swish. However, facing this level of attack, Yi Tian urged the spirit bird step and easily dodged them all. Immediately, he swung the black gold long sword and rushed over, beheading the level 1 and 2 Iron Claw monkeys one by one. The two level 3, level 1 Iron Claw monkeys saw their offspring being easily killed by Yi Tian. The beastly nature in their bodies was aroused. Their eyes turned red. They turned into two gray shadows and rushed towards Yi Tian. Their claws, which could resist ordinary mid-level weapons, fiercely slashed through the void, bringing with them a violent whistling sound of the air, with extraordinary power. Facing such an attack, Yi Tian was very calm. Because Yi Tian knew that the attacks of these two Iron Claw monkeys looked very powerful, but they could not even break his vitality gauze clothes. However, to deal with these two guys, Yi Tian had not yet reached the point of using the vitality gauze clothes. He directly urged the spirit bird step and killed them head-on. Swish, swish, the knife flashed. Soon, the heads of the two 3rd level, level 1 Iron Claw monkeys were cut off, and they died as dead as could be. After killing the two 3rd level, level 1 Iron Claw monkeys, the remaining 1st and 2nd level Iron Claw monkeys were not a concern at all. Yi Tian's figure kept shuttling among them. Every time he drew his knife, an Iron Claw monkey would die. It didn't take long. About a minute or so, the bodies of Iron Claw monkeys were piled up around Yi Tian. Swish, swish. After completing his task, Yi Tian looked at other battlefields. The Wu brothers all used heavy swords, which seemed to be of high level and could easily compete with their opponents, the hard claws of the 3rd level 4th grade Iron Claw monkeys. The attacking martial arts they used were also of high level and powerful. Their movements were also fast enough, and they were wearing intermediate combat uniforms. With so many blessings, it was difficult for the two Iron Claw monkeys to hurt them. Instead, they had many deep wounds on their bodies. Yi Tian knew that the two would be able to kill their opponents soon. Shu Rong's strength was also not weak. The heavy sword in her hand was like a magic wand, playing with it and using it with ease. Her attack made her opponent wail constantly, and one of his arms was chopped off. Wu Zongming's place. He released all his cultivation as a level 6 martial artist, holding a heavy sword. Even against two 3rd level 5th grade Iron Claw monkeys, he still had the upper hand, and he also chopped off the arm of a 3rd level 5th grade Iron Claw monkey. Several people were in an advantageous position, and victory was only a matter of time. However, Yi Tian thought that the final reward was distribution according to work. Immediately he grinned. He rushed to the battlefield where Wu Zongming was with a knife in hand. "Brother Wu, I'm here to help you." Wu Zongming was wearing a black mid-level combat uniform and holding a heavy knife. The vitality of a level 6 martial artist bloomed, and the two level 3 and level 5 Iron Claw monkeys were bleeding. He was about to knock the Iron Claw monkey with a broken arm away, and at this moment he heard Yi Tian's shout. Wu Zongming was stunned for a moment, and subconsciously turned his head to look in the direction of the sound. When he saw that Yi Tian had killed all the iron claw monkeys that surrounded him and was coming to help him, his mind was buzzing. Who am I? Where am I? What am I going to do? Being besieged by 2 level 3 and level 1 iron claw monkeys, and more than 20 level 1 and 2 iron claw monkeys. He felt that Yi Tian had a powerful body skill, and even if he was not a match for those iron claw monkeys, he would be fine in a short time. But he never thought that Yi Tian could kill these monkey monsters, and in such a short time. You know, even if he faced 2 level 3, level 5 iron claw monkeys that were 1 level lower than his own cultivation, he could only suppress them. It was impossible to kill these 2 beasts in such a short time. But Tian Yi was good. He not only killed 2 iron claw monkeys that were only 1 level lower than his cultivation, but also killed more than 20 level 1 and 2 iron claw monkeys. His strength was comparable to that of a level 3 martial artist. This kid is very talented to have reached the level 2 martial artist at such a young age. Now his combat power is much higher than that of martial artists of the same level. It seems that his background is extraordinary. But, there is no good end to offending me, and such a person must be very rich, especially the golden knife looks very unusual. Looking at Yi Tian who came to help him, Wu Zongming still had a loyal smile on his face. He casually knocked away an iron claw monkey that attacked him while he was distracted, and said with a smile, "Brother Tian Yi is really a hero born in his youth, with extraordinary talent and strong strength. With your help, I can be much more relaxed. Brother Tianyi, please help me hold back the iron-clawed monkey with a broken arm. I will come to help you after I kill this iron-clawed monkey." A cold smile flashed through Wu Zongming's heart. After saying that, he immediately went to deal with the iron-clawed monkey that was not seriously injured, regardless of whether Yi Tian agreed or not, and left the iron-clawed monkey with a broken arm to Yi Tian. Although this third level 5 iron-clawed monkey had a broken arm and many bloody wounds on its body, it was a third level 5 alien beast after all. It was tall and had many wounds on its body, but except for the broken arm that affected its combat power, it could not die in a short time. In this case, this third level 5 iron-clawed monkey would have no problem dealing with a second-level martial artist, let alone a fourth-level martial artist. Wu Zongming felt that this iron-clawed monkey would have no problem killing Yi Tian. What would it have to do with him if Yi Tian died at that time? Haha, young man, you are still too young. Hearing Wu Zongming's words, Yi Tian was speechless. He wanted to wait for an opportunity to help Wu Zongming kill the 2 iron claw monkeys. He didn't expect Wu Zongming to have such an idea. Let him, a level 2 inches martial artist, hold back a level 3, level 5 iron claw monkey. Even if the other party was injured, he couldn't deal with it with his apparent strength. This guy obviously has bad intentions. It's a pity that you underestimated the strength of your one leaf covering the Sky Emperor. Brother Wu, you must kill that iron claw monkey as soon as possible, otherwise I can't delay it for too long, Yi Tian said in a difficult manner. Hearing this, Wu Zongming nodded and promised, "Brother Tianyi, don't worry, I will be fine soon." While talking, Wu Zongming actually led the iron claw monkey that was not seriously injured to a distance. Obviously he was afraid that Yi Tian couldn't beat the broken arm iron claw monkey, and then led it to his side. Seeing the other party's purpose, Yi Tian just sneered. He didn't say much, and rushed towards the broken-armed iron-clawed monkey with the black gold long sword. Roar! The big guy also noticed the descendants killed by Yi Tian at this time. It was furious, and its eyes were red. If eyes could kill, Yi Tian didn't know how many times he would have died. Its whole body was shaking with vitality, and then it swung its huge iron claws to kill Yi Tian. The claws were wrapped in a thick layer of gray vitality, full of momentum. Seeing this, Yi Tian immediately used the spirit bird step to dodge to the side. He did not use the thunder step. To deal with a wounded third level 5 iron-clawed monkey, Yi Tian didn't need to use this king-level superb body movement martial arts. Swish! After successfully dodging, Yi Tian swung the black gold long sword and slashed at the neck of the iron-clawed monkey. Bang! The long sword wrapped in thunder vitality hit the iron-clawed monkey's claws fiercely, making a sound like fine iron hitting. But after all, the quality of the black gold long sword was better, and it managed to cut off one of the iron claw monkey's fingers. It's really a good weapon. If I get it and take those Qingyan fruits and Yuan medicine, who in the martial arts realm can be my opponent? Wu Zongming, who was fighting with the Iron Claw monkey in the distance, kept a part of his mind on Yi Tian's battle. When he saw that Yi Tian's weapon cut off a finger of the Iron Claw monkey, a trace of greed flashed in his eyes, and then he hid it well. Brother Tianyi, sister is here to help you. At this moment, in the battle on the other side, Shu Rong swept her heavy sword and cut off the head of her opponent, the third level 4-level Iron Claw monkey. After killing the opponent, Shu Rong immediately looked in the direction of the battlefield where Yi Tian started. When she saw the corpses of the Iron Claw monkeys on the ground, Shu Rong was obviously stunned. She couldn't believe that Yi Tian had killed all the opponents. When Shu Rong first faced the third level 4-level Iron Claw monkey in front of her, she thought about a quick battle and then helping this handsome, courageous and wise brother. After all, Yi Tian dared to tear his face with Wu Zongming, and made the Wu brothers and herself more wary of Wu Zongming. She thought this overly handsome brother was very good, so she didn't want him to get into trouble. But Shu Rong didn't expect that Yi Tian didn't need her help at all, but killed a group of his own opponents before she killed the Iron Claw monkey. Not seeing Yi Tian, Shu Rong looked away and saw Yi Tian fighting with the broken-armed Iron Claw monkey. A trace of worry flashed across her pretty face, and she realized that Yi Tian was no match for this Iron Claw monkey. She quickly urged her body movement martial arts and rushed over. Sister Rong, let's kill it together. Seeing Shu Rong coming to help him, Yi Tian pretended to show a happy expression, and then pretended to be relieved. In fact, he planned to fight with this Iron Claw monkey for a while, and then directly kill this broken-armed Iron Claw monkey. Presumably it wouldn't arouse other people's suspicion, at most he would say that his weapon was powerful. Anyway, his long sword is of a high level, which makes sense. But seeing Shu Rong rushing over to help him, Yi Tian was somewhat reluctant, but still very grateful. After all, he was not very familiar with this woman, but she was worried about his safety and helped him. She was a good woman to make friends with. With Shu Rong's help, Yi Tian simply accelerated his offensive. The already injured broken-arm iron-clawed monkey was soon suppressed and beaten by them, and then Shu Rong cut off another arm with a sword. Roar! It screamed in pain, and the vitality in its body further vibrated, but this time it all gathered on its legs. The intelligence of the third-level, fifth-level alien beast was not low. It knew that it was no match for the two and planned to run away. But at this time, Yi Tian rushed over decisively, and the thunder vitality was added to the sharp black gold long sword, and it cut off its head with one knife. Boom! With a loud bang, the tall body of the iron-clawed monkey fell heavily to the ground. Ah! Ah! After Yi Tian killed this third-level, fifth-level iron-clawed monkey, in the other three battlefields, the Wu brothers killed their opponents one after another, leaving only Wu Zongming who hadn't killed his opponent yet. Brother Wu, do you want my help? Seeing this, Yi Tian sneered. Wu Zongming glanced at Shu Rong imperceptibly, and the anger deep in his eyes was quickly suppressed by him. He immediately urged his vitality and cut off the head of his opponent, the level 5 Iron Claw monkey. Wu Zongming was already one level higher than the Iron Claw monkey, and he had a weapon in his hand. If he hadn't wanted to kill Yi Tian with the hand of the broken-armed Iron Claw monkey, he could have ended the battle on his side very quickly. But the development of things was beyond his expectations, and he couldn't delay any longer. Those people were not stupid. Brother Tianyi, that's not right. It's not a problem for me to kill a level 5 Iron Claw monkey. It's just that I used up a lot of vitality when I cut off the arm of the Iron Claw monkey that you and Sister Shu Rong killed just now. Otherwise, I would have killed this level 5 Iron Claw monkey long ago. Wu Zongming wiped the blood on the heavy knife with the fur of the Iron Claw monkey, and then walked to Yi Tian and Shu Rong to explain. In his explanation, he did not forget to tell the two that they were able to kill the broken-arm iron-clawed monkey mainly because of him. At this time, the Wu brothers also came here. They noticed Yi Tian's results, and when they looked at Yi Tian again, their eyes were less cold and more serious. Seeing that all the iron-clawed monkeys were killed, Boss Wu said at this time, "Since all the iron-clawed monkeys that are in the way have been killed, let's distribute the harvest. Do you have any objections?" Everyone was waiting for this, so naturally no one had any objections. The distribution of the harvest was also very simple. First of all, the bodies of the iron-clawed monkeys killed by each person belonged to each person. Those who helped kill were mainly broken-arm iron-clawed monkeys. Because Yi Tian, Xu Rong and Wu Zongming all participated, they needed to be divided together. Finally, there were the yuan medicine and Qingyuan fruit in the valley. Because the value of yuan medicine is not much different, it is easy to divide. The most difficult to divide is Qingyuan fruit, everyone wants it. However, according to the principle of distribution according to work, the person with the most merits should choose first. Among the crowd, the opponent assigned at the beginning was naturally Wu Zongming, who had the greatest contribution, and he was also the first to discover this valley. But he only killed one level 3, level 5 iron claw monkey in the end, and the remaining one also had the contribution of Yi Tian and Xu Rong. In this way, it is difficult to determine who has the greatest contribution. At this time, Wu Zongming spoke, and the smile on his face remained unchanged, and he said in a very generous manner, "Listen to me, brother. First of all, I am very grateful to you for teaming up with me, otherwise even if I discovered this valley, I would not be able to kill the iron claw monkey here, let alone have the opportunity to distribute these yuan medicines and yuan fruits. For your gratitude, I will take the initiative to withdraw and not distribute Qingyuan fruit. As for who has the greatest contribution, I think brother Tianyi and sister Xu Rong are not much different. In fact, it is really difficult to say who has the greatest contribution. After all, the Wu brothers killed 2 level 3, level 4 iron claw monkeys. If they give their own credit to each other, who can compare with their brothers? In that case, it means that their contribution is the greatest, and they can be selected first." Wu Zongming spoke in a soft voice. His words seemed to be fair and impartial, but they were full of sinister intentions, trying to alienate the relationship between Yi Tian, Xu Rong and the Wu brothers. Sure enough, after hearing this, the Wu brothers, who felt that their contributions were not the greatest and could not get the Qingyuan fruit, immediately brightened up. Wu Zhaoming said directly, "Brother Wu is right. In fact, I wanted to give my credit to my eldest brother from the beginning. After all, my eldest brother helped me a lot in the battle just now. If that's the case, then I will give my credit to my eldest brother. In this way, my eldest brother has the greatest contribution and can choose the benefits first." Seeing the Wu brothers say this, Xu Rong glanced at Wu Zongming meaningfully, and inadvertently distanced herself from him. She also felt a strong sense of disgust towards Wu Zongming in her heart. What a cunning and hypocritical person. Xu Rong thought about it, then turned her eyes and smiled. Since the credit can be calculated in this way, then I will give my credit to brother Tianyi. In this case, brother Tianyi still has the greatest credit without the participation of brother Wu. He should be the first to choose the yuan medicine or yuan fruit. Do you have any objections? She glanced at a few people, and then blinked her bright eyes at Yi Tian. Yi Tian's IQ was not low, and he understood Xu Rong's meaning in an instant. He immediately gave Xu Rong a grateful smile and said, "Then my brother would like to thank sister Xu Rong for her kindness." That being said, Yi Tian understood that Xu Rong did not really want to give her credit to him, but wanted to unite with him. The 5 people were obviously divided into 4 groups. In a one-on-one battle, the 2 of them were the weakest, so Xu Rong wanted to form an alliance with him. After the benefits were distributed, he would naturally give Xu Rong's share to her. Seeing Xu Rong actually doing this, the Wu brothers opened their mouths, but they didn't know what to say. Xu Rong's method was the same as theirs, and they couldn't refute it even if they wanted to. Seeing that Xu Rong was going to give her credit to Yi Tian, Wu Zongming's dark cheeks paused. He was obviously surprised by this result. Immediately, Wu Zongming glanced at Xu Rong coldly with an unfriendly look, and he was quite annoyed in his heart. "Woman, you have ruined my plan twice. Very good, I will let you know what regret is when I get back. But this woman's figure is really perfect, and she looks very outstanding, especially the heroic spirit on her body. If you press her down and conquer her, it will be a rare beauty in life. Then I will press down this beautiful but arrogant woman's head and let this fool know how powerful I am." After thinking about this, Wu Zongming began to calm down his emotions. However, he still had his signature kind smile on his face, as if he didn't care about the discussion of several people at all. Then, Wu Zongming made a final decision. Since no one has any objection, let Tianyi brother choose first. Since Brother Wu said so, I will be disrespectful. I will choose the largest Qingyuan fruit. Seeing that Wu Zongming said so, Yi Tian thanked him politely and decisively asked for the Qingyuan fruit that everyone wanted. Seeing that Yi Tian chose this fruit, a trace of regret flashed across the faces of the Wu brothers. But they had no choice. However, the two looked at each other and glanced at Yi Tian inadvertently, and they didn't know what they were thinking. The remaining 3 egg-sized Qingyuan fruits were chosen by the Wu brothers and Wu Zongming. When it was Yi Tian's turn, Yi Tian picked the last egg-sized Qingyuan fruit. Finally, there were only the yuan herbs in the valley left. These yuan herbs were all valuable. Looking at these yuan herbs, several people were delighted. Then the 5 of them worked together, picked all the yuan herbs, put them on a big stone, started to distribute. It was the turn of the Wu brothers to choose first. The Wu brothers took a fancy to a mid-level blood jade grass. They walked forward excitedly and planned to choose this herb. But at this moment, an accident suddenly happened. Just when the Wu brothers were concentrating on this herb, Wu Zongming quietly fell behind everyone. The kind smile on his face suddenly turned into a fierce look. In an instant, a black sword appeared in each of his hands, and he took the lead in slashing at the Wu brothers who were not prepared. Wu Zongming was a level 6 martial artist, and he suddenly attacked when the Wu brothers were off guard. Swish, swish. The Wu brothers had no time to react at all, and their bodies were chopped off from head to toe by Wu Zongming's sharp sword. Wu Zongming, you. Half of the Wu brothers' bodies were split open, and blood and internal organs were scattered everywhere. The faces of the two were full of unbelievable and unexpected expressions. They wanted to say something, but they closed their eyes before they finished speaking. They couldn't die anymore. The sudden change startled Xu Rong, and she immediately urged her body skills to rush away. But Wu Zongming seemed to have expected this, or maybe he was ready to deal with Xu Rong after killing the Wu brothers. He urged his martial arts skills to chase after her, and with a thick layer of vitality wrapped on his heavy sword, he chopped her head on. Bang! Xu Rong blocked the blow with a heavy sword above her head. But her cultivation was not as good as Wu Zongming after all, and she was chopped away by the sword. Her plump and long body smashed a big hole more than 3 meters deep on the ground. The violent vibration made her spit out blood and was seriously injured. Sister Xu Rong, why do you always help Tianyi? Do you want to do it with him because he is handsome? But you ruined my plan twice, and it is not a pity to die, but considering that you are so beautiful and have a good figure, I will pamper you well in this quiet and deserted valley after I deal with Tianyi. Ha ha ha, I promise to let you enjoy it before you die, and be a full ghost. After successfully killing the Wu brothers and seriously injuring Xu Rong, Wu Zongming suddenly felt that there was no threat. He was so happy when he thought that all the benefits would be his. Xu Rong on the ground turned pale when she heard this. She didn't want to be ruined by a disgusting person like Wu Zongming, so she was about to kill herself with a heavy sword. Swish. At this moment, Yi Tian rushed over, snatched the heavy sword from her hand, took out a healing pill and stuffed it into Xu Rong's mouth. This process inevitably touched her lips, and suddenly there was a soft and warm feeling. Sister Xu Rong, don't worry, with me here, Wu Zongming has no chance to hurt you. Yi Tian's slight smile gave people unspeakable confidence, coupled with his handsome appearance. Xu Rong's heart was moved. For a moment, she wanted to throw herself into Yi Tian's broad arms and was willing to give everything she had. Boy, you were really brave. You didn't run away after seeing me kill the Wu brothers and seriously injure Xu Rong. You even wanted to save people. You didn't think I couldn't kill you, did you? After seriously injuring Xu Rong, Wu Zongming was worried that Yi Tian would take the opportunity to escape, so he prepared to kill Yi Tian. But he didn't expect that Yi Tian not only didn't run away, but ran to save Xu Rong. Is there something wrong with this kid's brain? Do you really think that you, a level 2 martial artist, can be my opponent even if you have the combat power of a level 3 martial artist? To be a hero and save a beautiful girl, you have to have that ability. Wu Zongming, I'm afraid I've disappointed you. Not only can you not kill me, but I will kill you. Hearing Wu Zongming's words, Yi Tian sneered. Immediately, Yi Tian took out the black gold long sword from the space bag, and looked at Wu Zongming as if he was looking at a clown. Yi Tian knew that villains die because of talking too much. As he spoke, he urged his body to kill Wu Zongming. Swish. This time he used Thunder Riot. The whole person turned into a purple light and rushed forward quickly, and the speed was unknown how many times faster than before. At the same time, the thunder energy turned into thunder and slashed the sword energy, and with the Brigadier General's blessing, it exuded an amazing momentum. Die, Wu Zongming. Yi Tian came to Wu Zongming in almost the blink of an eye, and the sword light fell fiercely. How can you? Don't. Wu Zongming was stunned for a moment after hearing Yi Tian's words, and then he found it funny and wanted to mock Yi Tian. But the next second he saw Yi Tian's terrifying speed and amazing attack, and his shocked brain short-circuited in an instant. He couldn't figure it out. Why did Yi Tian suddenly exude such a terrifying aura, as if ordinary 8th and 9th level martial artists had no chance of survival in front of this knife? Isn't this kid a 2nd level martial artist? How did he suddenly become so strong? But no one answered his question. With a swish, with the knife light falling, Wu Zongming didn't even react, and was cut in half from head to toe by a knife. Those who kill, people will always kill. Such people deserve death. You are so strong. Seeing Yi Tian kill Wu Zongming, who was a 6th level martial artist, so easily, Xu Rong's pretty face was full of incredible expressions. When she first saw Yi Tian, in addition to being attracted by Yi Tian's amazing appearance, she was also surprised by Yi Tian's talent. Such a young person is a 2nd level martial artist, which shows that he is a genius, so she had the idea of making friends with Yi Tian. Later, she saw Wu Zongming bullying Yi Tian and wanted to use Yi Tian as bait. She was worried about Yi Tian's safety and couldn't bear to see it, so she raised her objection. When Yi Tian was fighting with the one-armed level 3, level 5 Iron Claw monkey. In addition to worrying, she also had her own principles, so she went to support him. Although Yi Tian stopped her from committing suicide just now. But Xu Rong didn't think Yi Tian could save her from Wu Zongming's hands. It was estimated that Yi Tian, this silly boy, would also die in the hands of Wu Zongming, a hypocritical and vicious guy. She felt sorry for Yi Tian. Such a genius should have a bright future and shouldn't die here. It was because she wasted time to escape by stopping her from committing suicide. She felt very sorry and wanted to ask Yi Tian to escape. But at that time, Yi Tian had been targeted by Wu Zongming, so it was useless even if she said it. But Xu Rong never expected that the final outcome would change so dramatically. Wu Zongming, who was originally the strongest among them, was killed by Yi Tian, who was the weakest among them, with one knife. Wu Zongming himself probably didn't expect that he had calculated everyone, but in the end he was killed because of his lack of strength. Sister Xu Rong, are you okay? Yi Tian walked over and helped Xu Rong up. Because of his carelessness, his fingers touched the woman's chest. Although separated by combat uniforms, Yi Tian still felt the other party's amazing softness and elasticity. I'm fine, thank you for the pills. Xu Rong felt the changes in her chest and her face turned slightly red. Although she was 28 years old, she had never had such contact with a man. She was inevitably embarrassed when Yi Tian touched her private parts. That's good, Sister Xu Rong, let's divide these yuan medicines. Seeing the change in Xu Rong's face, Yi Tian scratched his head awkwardly, and then hurriedly changed the subject. The yuan medicine that was originally supposed to be divided among 5 people was now only left for the 2 of them. Yi Tian was also looking forward to how much wealth he could get this time. There were a total of 24 yuan medicines, including the intermediate blood jade grass that the Wu brothers wanted. Yi Tian was very generous and gave half to Xu Rong. Brother Tianyi, if you hadn't killed Sister Wu Zongming, I'm afraid. She was embarrassed to say the rest of the words, feeling ashamed, so she jumped over and said, you saved my sister's life, how can my sister ask for more benefits? Yi Tian didn't care about this. He is a man with bottom line and principles, and Xu Rong has helped him again and again, no matter what, he will not take the share that belongs to Xu Rong. Yi Tian stuffed a bunch of yuan yao to Xu Rong without saying anything, and said seriously, Sister Xu Rong, these are what you deserve. If you don't want them, then I will throw them here to feed the beasts. Anyway, I won't take them. But you gave too much. Even if I divide them according to my merits, I can't get so many yuan yao. Xu Rong still refused, thinking that Yi Tian gave her too much yuan yao, and wanted to return some to Yi Tian. However, Yi Tian had made up his mind and did not want it, and his attitude was firm. Seeing this, Xu Rong had to put these yuan yao into his space bag. Although he could not return it to Yi Tian, Xu Rong was still very happy in his heart. Brother Tian Yi is not only handsome, but also has principles and bottom line, and is good to me. He is really a good man. And with these yuan yao, my cultivation can be improved a lot. Yi Tian didn't know what Xu Rong was thinking, and he started to lick the bag excitedly. He found a space bag on the Wu brothers and Wu Zongming respectively. He put Wu Zongming's 2 heavy swords into the space bag, and then began to collect the bodies of the iron claw monkeys one by one. These iron claw monkey bodies were very large, but fortunately the space inside the space bags of the Wu brothers and Wu Zongming was not small. The space inside the space bags of the first 2 had 30 cubic meters, and the space inside the space bag of Wu Zongming had 50 cubic meters. Just now, all the iron claw monkey bodies were put in. However, Xu Rong killed the iron claw monkey body, and Yi Tian asked Xu Rong to collect it. He and Xu Rong killed the 3rd level 5 iron claw monkey body together, and he only took the beast core and gave the rest to Xu Rong. Xu Rong was reluctant to accept it at first, but when Yi Tian insisted on giving it, he had no choice but to accept it. In this way, all the spoils in the valley were cleaned up. Of course, in order to prevent omissions, Yi Tian went to the main tree to check it, but did not find anything valuable. Even if he didn't get any extra harvest from the main tree, Yi Tian's harvest today was already very rich. The most valuable things for him were naturally the beast cores and yuan medicine. 13 second level beast cores, 6 third level beast cores, 12 yuan medicines, 4 Qing yuan fruits. As for the essence and blood of the exotic beasts, there is no need to say more about the exotic beast materials. This does not include the things in the space bags of the Wu brothers and Wu Zongming. Because Xu Rong was around, it was not easy for him to count directly, so he planned to find a place where no one was around to count again. Sister Xu Rong, let's say goodbye here. Leaving the valley, Yi Tian clasped his fists to Xu Rong and said goodbye. Xu Rong felt a little reluctant, but she did not rashly propose to go with Yi Tian. Xu Rong understood that Yi Tian wanted to leave because he wanted to act alone. Yi Tian was too strong. Even if she was willing to go with her, she would only become a burden to Yi Tian. She was a very strong person and could not let herself do this. Well, we will part ways now, but can I keep your contact information, Brother Tianyi? I want to repay you for saving my life when I return to the city. Xu Rong said and blinked at Yi Tian. It seemed that she would repay Yi Tian in a way that would satisfy her. Seeing this, Yi Tian hesitated. But seeing Xu Rong's beautiful eyes full of expectation, he finally nodded and said, okay. After separating from Xu Rong, Yi Tian found a cave and went in. After closing the cave entrance, Yi Tian took out 3 space bags from his body, as well as the beast cores and yuan medicines he had harvested this time. System, recharge the beast cores and yuan medicines. Except for the Qing yuan fruit, Yi Tian did not need these yuan medicines, so he asked the system to recharge them all. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining 15,000 points of wealth. This wealth is not small. Yi Tian's smile never stopped. His harvest this time is huge, and there are still 3 space bags that have not been counted. Yi Tian was not in a hurry to improve his strength. He took out Wu Zhaoming's space bag and poured out everything except the iron claw monkey's body. There are many things, some exotic beast materials, 5 second level beast cores and 1 third level beast core, 10 low-grade yuanxi, several bottles of pills, including detoxification pills, healing pills, and wound medicine. Most of them are primary, and only 1 healing pill is intermediate. There is also his weapon, a mid-level heavy sword, which is not low in value. In addition, there are some miscellaneous things such as food, water, tents and clothes. The things in Wu Daming's space bag are similar to Wu Zhaoming's. 7 second level beast cores and 1 third level beast core. 13 low-grade yuanxi, some detoxification, poison avoidance, healing pills, wound medicines. Most of them are beginner level, with few intermediate level ones. A mid-level heavy sword weapon. In addition to these, there are some miscellaneous things. What Yi Tian is most looking forward to is Wu Zongming's space bag. Not only is it the largest, but he is also the strongest among the few people. The things inside did not disappoint Yi Tian. 8 second-level beast cores, 2 third-level beast cores, 20 low-grade yuanxi, 7 or 8 intermediate-level pills, including detoxification pills, poison avoidance pills, and muscle-growing pills. There are also some beginner-level pills, but they are very mixed, and they don't look like they were bought from the same place. Rather, they look like they were obtained by killing and robbing. There are 8 weapons, 5 beginner-level weapons and 3 intermediate-level weapons. 2 of them are the heavy swords used by Wu Zongming before, and 1 is a green metal shield. 7 books. 5 of them are beginner-level skills and martial arts, and the remaining 2 are intermediate-level. 1 is an intermediate-level martial art called Yuan Bao Gong. 1 is the intermediate-level body movement martial arts, Swift Wind Step. Yi Tian thought about it and felt that the energy of Yuan Bao Gong was very similar to the energy Wu Zongming displayed. The energy cultivated by this kind of practice is relatively pure. At critical moments, it can stimulate all the energy in the body to riot, and increase the combat power by 20% to 30% in a short period of time. It is a good intermediate-level practice. However, due to the level limit, the increase in strength of this practice is limited to the martial arts master level, and it basically has no effect in the martial arts master level. The speed of the body movement martial arts, Swift Wind Step, is also good, suitable for straight-line pursuit and rushing. Yi Tian saw Wu Zongming perform it, and after performing it, his whole person was like a gust of wind, rushing past. In addition to these, Wu Zongming's space bag also has some clothes, food, water and other miscellaneous things. After counting the items in the 3 people's space bags, Yi Tian happily threw some insignificant things aside and set them on fire. Then he began to shuffle the items in the 5 space bags, especially the iron claw monkey corpse. Yi Tian used the largest 50 cubic meter storage bag as his main storage bag, and the others were used to store exotic beast materials. Soon, Yi Tian handled all the items, and then recharged all the yuanxi and beast cores, and gained a lot of wealth again. Adding some wealth points he still had, Yi Tian's wealth suddenly reached more than 30,000 points. When you have money, you naturally have to spend it. Yi Tian first used 10,000 wealth points to improve the Thunder Slashing Sword skill and Thunder Blast Step to the perfect cultivation degree. He spent another 500 wealth points to cultivate Swift Wind Step to perfection. This body movement martial arts is suitable for straight pursuit and escape, and Yi Tian thinks it is very suitable for him. It's not that Thunder Blast Step is not good, but mainly that he can't always use Thunder Blast Step when fighting with others. How can you start a big fight with others? It's not that every battle is a peak match. There will always be times when you encounter stubborn bronze and orderly silver. Killing these little karamis naturally doesn't require a big knife. The most important thing is that he is rich now. Next, Yi Tian began to improve his strength. After spending 9,000 points of wealth, Yi Tian raised his cultivation to the 10th level of martial artist. Each upgrade from martial artist to martial master requires 4,000 points of wealth. Yi Tian put all the remaining wealth into it. After consuming 12,000 points of wealth, Yi Tian's cultivation reached the 3rd level of martial master. After his cultivation was upgraded to the martial master, a lot of liquid thunder attribute vitality appeared inside the vitality cyclone in Yi Tian's dantian. After reaching this level, the vitality in Yi Tian's body is already very strong, and the power of the martial arts he activates will be stronger. The martial master did not release the vitality gauze, but the thicker vitality armor. Feeling the surge in strength, Yi Tian felt that he could blow up the cave with one punch. However, Yi Tian knew that this was an illusion caused by the sudden huge increase in his own strength. Yi Tian immediately activated the vitality. Soon, a layer of 1-inch thick yuan qi appeared on his body, covering him like a set of hard armor. With this layer of yuan qi armor, even if a huge rock weighing tens of meters falls on me from a height of dozens of meters, it will only destroy itself. Feeling the power of the yuan qi armor, Yi Tian suddenly felt full of security. With my current strength, I can go deep into the depths and hope to improve my strength a little more before the medicine guarding mission. The medicine guarding mission is related to Baluodin, and I can't afford to be careless. Yi Tian knows that every time the medicine guarding mission is carried out, the Wuzong Hall of the Thunder Martial Arts School will send some Wuzong to go, and even the Wuzhong Pavilion will have Wuzhong to take charge. Unlike the Genius Pavilion, the Wuzong Hall and the Wuzhong Pavilion are the foundation of the Thunder Martial Arts School. The Genius Pavilion is at best the reserve team of the two. However, the strong Wuzhong will not compete with others for the first prize, otherwise it will be given directly to the Wuzhong, and others can't compete with the Wuzhong at all. In order to win the Baluodin, Yi Tian asked Yao Ruowu about the strength of the personnel who were dispatched for each medicine guarding mission. Last year, there were 7 or 8 martial masters participating, and 2 of them were at level 7 or 8. These guys have practiced the Thunder King art and 2 king level top grade martial arts, and their training speed is not low. If Yi Tian wants to win the first prize from them, his strength naturally needs to be improved. More than an hour later, Yi Tian arrived at the entrance to the deep place, where there were many practitioners. Have you heard that a cave suspected to be a general appeared in the deepest part? What do you mean suspected? It's obvious, isn't it? But the people of the Wu family are too hateful. They blocked that place and didn't let us in. Why should they monopolize the benefits? You just found out that the Wu family is used to being domineering. But I heard that there are 5 layers of killing arrays outside the general's cave. The city defense army that broke in before suffered heavy casualties. It is said that there are several dead martial masters. Forget it, it's too dangerous over there. Even if the Wu family doesn't occupy the general's cave, we can't break those killing arrays. Even if the deep place is blocked by them, I can't hunt the beasts. General's cave. It seems I'm in the right place. Hearing the news from the people around him, Yi Tian, who had just arrived, curled his lips with an arc of interest and walked towards the deep place. As for the blockade of the Wu family, Yi Tian smiled indifferently. The deciduous forest is a gift from nature. If the other party dares to stop him, then ask if his blade is sharp. Hey, look at that kid, a level 2 martial artist actually went to the depths. Not to mention that the depths have been blocked by the Wu family. Even if the depths are not blocked, a level 2 martial artist cannot go there. Is that kid's brain sick? I remember that the Wu family's broadsword 3rd class 3rd squadron blocked that place. Zhang Mingfei is the most jealous of people who are more handsome than him. That kid is so handsome. If he meets Zhang Mingfei, he might not die well. It's obvious that he is a rookie. It's better to die in my hands than in Zhang Mingfei's. He is so handsome that his worth is probably not less. Some people saw Yi Tian entering the depths, some joked, and some mocked. There were also a few martial masters with bad intentions who followed him. Yi Tian continued to go deeper into the forest. The trees here are not very dense, but each one is very tall. 30 to 40 meters high, 5 to 6 meters thick, with lush branches and leaves, one tree can become a forest. The dense branches and leaves blocked the view, and only scattered broken light fell, making the forest seem darker and the ground more humid. Has someone followed me again? I didn't remember provoking these people, and I only showed the realm of a level 2 martial artist. I'm low-key enough, right? How come there are still blind people following me? Not long after walking, Yi Tian realized that he was followed by someone. The purpose of those people was very clear. Yi Tian changed directions several times in the forest and they followed him. This made Yi Tian sure that these people were coming for him. Yi Tian exhaled helplessly, and simply stopped walking, leaning against a big tree and waiting for them. Not long after, 3 middle-aged men came here. 2 level 1 martial masters, 1 level 2 martial master. The first 2 were obviously a group of people. When they saw Yi Tian resting against a tree, they attacked Yi Tian directly, fearing that if they were slow to act, another person would get ahead. Brother son, everything has a first come first served. I came first, but you are trying to steal my prey. What do you mean? Don't you have any rules? Seeing that the Sun brothers were the first to kill Yi Tian, the black-robed man immediately urged his body skills to kill him. He was a level 2 martial arts master, and he practiced a high-level body skills martial arts. He was very fast. Even if the Sun brothers took the lead in attacking Yi Tian, he was caught up by him. HMPH. Brother Sun, I advise you to leave now. Don't think that I can't kill you just because you have a set of combined attack martial arts. After saying a harsh word to the 2, the black-robed man immediately punched Yi Tian and sneered, "You are really a rookie." Not only did you enter the depths with such a weak cultivation, but you even rested in such a place without any shelter. You really have no experience in surviving in the wild. Let me teach you a lesson today. Teach me a lesson. You don't deserve it. Seeing the black-robed man who was killing him quickly, Yi Tian sneered. He immediately took out his black gold sword and activated his thunderous step, rushing over 10 meters away in an instant. In the middle of the journey, a purple lightning flashed by. A head flew up, and blood gushed out. This black-robed man at the level 2 Wuzong realm who was going to teach Yi Tian a lesson could not die anymore. The headless body hit a big tree not far away with a bang, shaking the fallen leaves. 3.3 level Wuzong. Second brother, let's run. The Sun brothers, who were threatened by the black-robed man, ignored the black-robed man's words. They planned to snatch food from the tiger's mouth, and they were confident that they could not be afraid of the black-robed man together. But because their speed was a little slower than that of the black-robed man, the black-robed man got ahead. They thought that Yi Tian would be killed instantly by the black-robed man and his storage bag would be taken away. But the next scene frightened their hearts and stopped for a moment, as if they were tightly held by a pair of big hands. The lamb that they could slaughter at will in their eyes actually burst out with the powerful aura of the level 3 Wuzong in an instant, and used 2 martial arts that were obviously of extremely high level at a glance. In just a moment, the black-robed man, who needed the brothers to join forces to deal with, was beheaded with a single sword. Seeing this scene, they were dumbfounded and felt dizzy. It was as if they had hit the table when they were so strong. They also didn't understand that the boy in front of them was only a teenager of 17 or 18 years old. Having the cultivation level of level 2 martial master was already a genius, but his actual cultivation level was as high as level 3 martial master. This level of cultivation was enough to sprint into the 2 top martial arts schools. And he also knew 2 extremely high-level martial arts. Are all young people nowadays so fierce? After coming to his senses, the eldest brother of the Sun family hurriedly pulled his younger brother and ran away. The point was too hard. They couldn't bite it. Now you can't leave if you want to. Seeing the Sun brothers turning around and running away, Yi Tian's feet flashed with lightning. The air whistled. When Yi Tian's figure appeared again, he had already arrived in front of the Sun brothers. The black gold long sword swung. There were 2 clicks. The heads of the Sun brothers flew up together and rolled to the ground. The expressions of fear and unwillingness on their faces did not dissipate for a long time. The murderer will be killed by the murderer. Why don't you come to kill me? Looking at the bodies of the 3 people lying on the ground, Yi Tian shook his head slightly, and then began to loot with a happy face. He got 3 space bags. 3 complete combat uniforms, but they were all mid-level. Obviously, these 3 martial masters seemed to be used to robbing, but they were not rich. Probably because they thought Yi Tian was a rookie, the 3 did not use weapons. After killing the 3 people, Yi Tian left here directly. As for the bodies of the 3 people, they were naturally left to the strange beasts. He was a good person, so he hoped that there would be no heavy taste. After leaving here, Yi Tian found a place where no one was, and happily began to count the harvest this time. Chapter 41. The space bags of the 3 martial masters are all 100 cubic meters, and there are a lot of things inside. There are 78 low-grade yuanxi in total, 4 medium-grade yuanxi, 13 second-level beast cores, 5 third-level beast cores, and 1 fourth-level beast core. A pile of exotic beast materials. Most of them are second-level, a few are third-level, and some are fourth-level. Hundreds of middle-level healing pills, detoxification pills, poison avoidance pills, muscle regeneration pills, vitality pills and other elixirs. There are also more than a dozen high-level pills, suitable for martial masters. 6 weapons, 3 level high-level weapons, 2 heavy swords, and a broadsword, all of which are of high value. More than 10 books, in addition to some cultivation insights and atlases. There are 3 middle-level exercises, 3 high-level exercises, as well as a high-level secret technique and a high-level sword technique. Needless to say, Yi Tian doesn't even look down on the middle-level and high-level exercises. It was mainly the high-level secret arts and swordsmanship that attracted Yi Tian's interest. The secret art is called the art of identifying qi, which can be used to identify other people's cultivation. When cultivated to perfection, one can see through the cultivation of people of the same realm, with lower cultivation than oneself, and those who are not much higher than oneself. However, it is useless for practitioners whose cultivation is much higher than oneself, and those who have cultivated a high-level hidden aura. Yi Tian thinks this secret art is not bad, and plans to practice it later. The swordsmanship martial art is the sword chi of broken gold. When practicing for the first step, one can easily split a piece of fine iron more than 1 foot thick into 2 halves. When cultivated to perfection, the power is even more powerful, which can cut through the defense of a 4th-level alien beast and the Yuan Qi armor of a martial arts master. Yi Tian also likes this martial art very much and plans to practice it. He can't always use thunder to kill the sword chi. Not to mention that it consumes a lot of Yuan Qi every time it is used. It is also easy to be recognized by some powerful practitioners. System: recharge all beast cores and Yuan Qi. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining 16,100 points of wealth. As the system's pleasant reminder sounded, another large amount of wealth was credited. Yi Tian immediately spent 1,000 points of wealth to cultivate Qi identification technique, and golden knife Qi to perfection. Yi Tian spent all the remaining wealth on cultivation. Ding! 4,000 points of wealth were consumed, and the host's cultivation was upgraded to level 4 Wuzong. Ding! 4,000 points of wealth were consumed, and the host's cultivation was upgraded to level 7 Wuzong. As the system's voice fell, Yi Tian found that the thunder liquid energy in his dantian had increased several times. His own strength was greatly improved again. Looking at the attribute panel. Host: Yi Tian. Strength: level 7 Wuzong. Kung Fu: Thunder King Gong King level top grade, perfect. Martial Arts: Thunderbolt Slashing Sword Technique King level, top grade, perfect. Thunderbolt Violent Step King level, top grade, perfect. Broken Gold Sword Chi high grade, perfect. Swift Wind Step intermediate grade, perfect. Spiritual Bird Step beginner grade, perfect. Layered Wave Sword Technique beginner grade, perfect. Secret Technique: Great Hidden Chi Ju general level, perfect. Chi Identification Technique high grade, perfect. Hidden Chi Ju intermediate grade, perfect. Weapon: Black Gold Long Sword Brigadier General. Other items: Space Bag *8, pills, combat uniforms, food, water, tents, etc. Wealth value: 1,400. Boy, you are so arrogant. Don't you know that the depths are blocked by my Wu family? You dare to come in. Do you want to die? In a forest. As soon as Yi Tian came here, a young man wearing the combat uniform of the 3rd-class hunting beast team of broadsword jumped down from the tree. He exuded the cultivation of a level 6 martial artist, holding a mid-level broadsword. Seeing that Yi Tian's cultivation was only a level 2 martial artist, he immediately scolded him. However, after his eyes swept around Yi Tian, he suddenly stretched out his hand and said, "Boy, hand over the space bag, I can spare your life, otherwise don't blame me for being rude to you." Although the man said this, the vitality in his body was running secretly. Obviously, he did not mean to let Yi Tian go. Seeing the young man who jumped in front of him, blocked his way, scolded him and wanted to rob him. Yi Tian looked cold and sneered, "When did Lui Mountain Forest belong to your Wu family? You can just block it off. It's ridiculous. And are you sure you want to rob me? Not long ago, 3 martial masters wanted to rob me, but I killed them all." Yi Tian's voice was calm and he was telling the truth, but the young man obviously didn't take Yi Tian's words seriously. He didn't think that Yi Tian, a level 2 martial artist, could kill 3 martial masters. However, the young man was furious when he saw that Yi Tian didn't take their Wu family seriously, and shouted, "Good boy, dare to ignore my Wu family, then you will die." As soon as the young man finished speaking, he slashed at Yi Tian with a sword. Just the next second, a purple knife flashed by. The knife in the young man's hand was only half extended, and he was chopped away by the knife. He fell heavily to the ground, bleeding from the wound, his face was pale, and half his life was gone. With Yi Tian's cultivation, he could certainly kill this man in one blow. He wanted to get some information out of him by leaving him alive. Yi Tian asked, "Tell me, how many people from your Wu family have blocked this place, and what are their cultivation levels?" "Boy, you are actually a martial master, but you dare to have the idea of the cave, you are really bold." The young man was hit hard by Yi Tian and was shocked that Yi Tian's cultivation level was not a martial master but a martial master. However, when he learned what Yi Tian wanted to find out, he saw Yi Tian's purpose. The young man sneered in his heart. A martial master dared to have the idea of the martial master's cave, which was simply seeking death. But the young man didn't intend to say it. He knew that Yi Tian would never let him go. If he told this kid about the manpower and strength of the blockade arranged by the family. What if this kid was afraid and didn't dare to go? He sneered immediately and said firmly, "Boy, do you think I will tell you? If you have the ability, you can kill me. In that case, then do as you wish." Seeing the young man's firm attitude, Yi Tian directly twisted his head off. If he didn't say anything, he would go and ask other people. After taking away the young man's space bag, weapons and the intermediate combat uniform on his body, Yi Tian thought about it and dug a pit to bury the young man's body, so as not to be discovered by the people of the Wu family and alarm them. However, Yi Tian didn't know that soon after he left, several people wearing the combat uniforms of the 3rd Beast Hunting Team of Broadsword 3 came here. Holding an unknown tool in their hands, they quickly determined the place where Yi Tian buried the person and dug out the body of the young man killed by Yi Tian. Several people quickly took the man's body away. After passing through a forest, they came to a young man about 27 or 28 years old and said respectfully, "Captain, the 4th brother was killed, and someone broke in. Do you want to report to the 3rd young master?" Team 3 Captain Zhang Mingfei pondered for a while and said, "The 3rd young master is leading the team to break the formation. Don't alarm him for this little thing. You continue to block that side. Remember to send a signal immediately if there is anything wrong. I'm going to meet with several captains nearby now." Zhang Mingfei left here quickly after saying that. His expression was solemn, and it was not difficult to see that he was in a bad mood at this time. I hope this person just accidentally bumped into the 4th brother, and not coveting the general's cave. Swish, swish. In a forest, Yi Tian waved the black gold long knife and killed 5 people from the Wu family hunting team one after another. These people are not weak. The lowest one has a level 6 martial artist cultivation, and the highest one has a level 10 martial artist cultivation. They were a heavy axe 3rd class team, and they happened to meet Yi Tian while patrolling in this area. When they saw Yi Tian, these people attacked Yi Tian without saying anything. Seeing this, Yi Tian had to fight back. He first severely injured all 5 people to make them lose their combat effectiveness, and then began to ask. Some of the 5 people were very stubborn, and Yi Tian used various means to make the other party unwilling to reveal to him the number and cultivation of the blockaded personnel, and the personnel situation on the side of the general cave. Fortunately, one of the 5 people was a soft bone, and after Yi Tian broke his first finger, he confessed everything. The Wu family summoned a total of 13 teams to block the deep area of the Fallen Leaf Mountains. Among them, 8 3rd-class beast hunting teams were mainly responsible for the relatively low-risk edges. The remaining 5 teams were 2nd-class teams, all of which were martial masters, and the captains were all martial masters above level 8. 3 of them were blocking in the front. 2 were on the side of the general cave, cooperating with the 3rd young master of the Wu family and a powerful general to break the formation. However, this person did not know the strength of the 3rd young master of the Wu family and the general. Yi Tian did not believe all of this information. He took out the locator he found from the captain, and then swaggered to another 3rd-class team. It must be said that the people of the Wu family are really domineering. When they saw him, they attacked him without saying anything. Yi Tian wanted to ask them questions. If these people cooperated, he would not mind just knocking them out and leaving them alive. Yi Tian is not a bloodthirsty person. If others respect him 1 foot, he will respect them 1 foot. But if others hurt him 1 point, he will repay 100 times. Since several people chose to attack him, don't blame him for being ruthless. Yi Tian easily injured 5 people, and then beat them up and got some information again. This time he learned that there were 8 2nd-class teams of the Wu family. 5 of them were in the cave of the war general. Yi Tian also learned that the 3rd young master of the Wu family was a level 10 martial Zong realm cultivator, and the general was a level 3 martial general realm cultivator. Yi Tian believed the information he got from this team. Because he used the prisoner's dilemma method to question the 5 people separately, the information he got was basically the same. The inconsistency was that several team members did not know the realm of the third young master of the Wu family and the general. After asking, Yi Tian killed the 5 people and got 5 space bags again. Because the space bag cannot be put into the space bag, Yi Tian had to carry these space bags on his body. Now he has a total of 18 space bags on him. If he tells others, many people will probably be jealous. Even the most common 10 cubic space bag is not cheap. These space bags are also a lot of money for Yi Tian. Besides, there are many things in it. If the information these people said is true, I still need to improve my strength to have the hope of competing with the people of the Wu family for the things in the cave of the general. Yi Tian is naturally very interested in the cave left by the general. It doesn't matter if he doesn't know, since he already knows it, he naturally wants to see it. Also, we need to find out the martial arts practiced by the general, the martial arts mastered and the weapons used, so that we can more accurately judge his combat power. Yi Tian took out the Yuanxi and beast core from the space bag while thinking. Soon, many beast cores and Yuanxi emitting Yuanxi fluctuations were piled in front of him. Yi Tian recharged all of them through the system and obtained 14,300 points of wealth. Before, Yi Tian still had 1,400 points of wealth left. In this way, his wealth reached 15,700 points. After spending 12,000 points of wealth, Yi Tian raised his cultivation to the 10th level of Wuzong. Only Yi Tian himself knew how strong the 10th level Wuzong who practiced the king level top grade skills was. Yi Tian believed that as long as the skills practiced by the level 3 general were not king level, even if they were middle lower level king level skills. With his perfect thunder slashing sword energy and thunder violent steps, he might be able to fight with the other party and snatch food from the tiger's mouth. Of course, if I really can't beat him, I'll get some more wealth points to directly raise my cultivation to the general level. Although Yi Tian only obtained the cultivation skills of the first 4 levels of Thunder King skill. But it doesn't mean that he can't continue to improve his strength, but the purity of his vitality will be much lower after the level is improved. It's not that there is no solution. You can make up for it after you get the skills behind the Thunder King Gong. This may be a big difficulty for others, but it's nothing for Yi Tian. Swish. Seeing that it was getting late, Yi Tian rushed to the inner circle, intending to find a place to rest there. The beasts there are relatively weak, and it is much safer to sleep at night. You have heard that a murderous devil appeared in the depths, specializing in killing the Wu family's hunting team. It is said that he has killed 5 third-class teams and 1 second-class team of the Wu family. The second-class teams of the Wu family are at least martial masters, and the captains are generally 8th or 9th level martial masters. Is that person so powerful? Otherwise, why is he called a murderous devil? However, it is said that the third young master of the Wu family was extremely angry after knowing this, and has sent several second-class teams to search for the whereabouts of that person, and has also issued a reward. As long as you provide clues about that person, you will be rewarded with an extremely generous reward. Laughing, they don't even know who killed their people in the Wu family, where can we find clues? That's true. Hey, it's that kid from before, he actually came back alive. At this time, someone noticed Yi Tian returning from the depths, and a look of surprise and shock flashed across his face. He remembered that the Sun brothers and Zhang Laosin chased the boy. Those 3 were all martial masters, although they were all low-level martial masters, they were still martial masters. How did this second-level martial master survive from their hands? You said that, and I realized that the Sun brothers and Zhang Laosin have not come back since they chased that kid into the depths. Do you think they will be killed by that kid? A martial master made a gesture of wiping his neck, and then looked at Yi Tian, and suddenly a bold idea came to his mind. Could the person the Wu family was looking for be that kid? But he quickly shook his head, thinking that his idea was really too bold. No matter how talented and awesome that kid was, he could kill the Sun brothers and Zhang Laosin, but how could he kill a second-class team of the Wu family? What an international joke. However, he also subconsciously turned Yi Tian into a person who could not be provoked, and he would avoid him whenever he saw him in the future. After glancing at a few people, Yi Tian found a direction to leave. He didn't expect the news to spread so quickly. On the way back, Yi Tian encountered a Wu family team that attacked him, and he naturally killed them directly. Later, he met a second-class hunting team of the Wu family that was searching for him. These people relied on their stronger strength and would rather kill someone by mistake than let him go. They would kill him when they saw him. Yi Tian had no choice but to kill them, and the 5 space bags were in vain. I didn't expect the Wu family to issue a reward for me, third young master, right? Wash your neck and wait, I will kill you tomorrow. Came to a quiet and deserted forest. Yi Tian used a knife to open a tree hole in a thick tree, made a simple bed, and lit a ham, then he took out a 3rd-level tusk wild boar leg and roasted it. This is a strange beast that Yi Tian encountered not long ago. This 3rd-level tusk wild boar rushed over to treat Yi Tian as food when it saw him. Yi Tian had to kill the tusk wild boar with a knife and thanked nature for the gift. Although there was no shortage of food in the space bag, Yi Tian decided to change his taste. There was nothing more comfortable than eating barbecue in the wild at night. Yi Tian was roasting pork legs while sprinkling spices, cumin and salt. After roasting for a while, a tempting aroma wafted up. Seeing that the barbecue was ready, Yi Tian happily took the barbecue and prepared to eat. Shashasha. At this time, there was a subtle sound of animals moving in the woods not far away. The sound was not loud, but in the ears of Yi Tian, who was a level 10 martial arts master, it was like ringing in his ears. Yi Tian heard it very clearly. Yi Tian immediately looked in the direction of the sound. He thought it was a strange beast lurking to attack him, but he saw a fox. Half of its body was exposed in the bushes under the woods. The fox was the size of a normal adult fox, with pink hair all over, without a single mixed color, very beautiful, and looked very smooth. The most special thing was that there was no dust on it. What a beautiful fox, especially this pink and smooth hair, I wonder if it feels comfortable to touch. Seeing the pink fox's fur, Yi Tian suddenly had such an idea in his mind. This pink fox's cultivation is not very strong, it is only the 2nd level and 3rd level cultivation, so it is naturally not a threat to him. But just after Yi Tian had such an idea, with a swish, a pink light flashed. The pink fox's figure disappeared instantly, and at the same time, the barbecue in Yi Tian's hand disappeared. Everything happened as if in an instant, too fast, even Yi Tian did not react. Yi Tian was stunned for a moment, and then touched his neck. He was very afraid that if the other party hit him here, he would be dead. But soon Yi Tian shook his head. This pink fox is just faster. It is probably a bloodline talent. Otherwise, the speed of a 2nd-level alien beast cannot be so fast. The teacher in the alien beast class said that some alien beasts are born with a certain ability because of their unique talents or special abilities. This ability can be passed on through blood, so it is called bloodline talent. In fact, in addition to alien beasts, humans also have bloodline talents. Such beings are often the chosen ones of heaven, and they can almost become kings and emperors in the future, and there is a high chance that they will impact the realm of martial honor, martial saint or even martial emperor. Even though the pink fox is extremely fast, its cultivation is too low to kill Yi Tian. Yi Tian believes that he can instantly activate the Yuan-Chi armor at the critical moment of life and death. With the defensive power of the Yuan-Chi armor cultivated by his king-level top-grade skills, it is estimated that even ordinary military generals and strong men cannot break it. Not to mention a level 2, level 3 beast. Interesting beast. The food was taken away, so Yi Tian had to take out a pig leg and roast it. After about half an hour, the leg meat was roasted. Yi Tian finally enjoyed it, and the pink fox never appeared again. It must have been full. The next day, Yi Tian walked out of the tree hole and then went deeper. At the entrance to the deep, Yi Tian found that there was a roadblock here, and many people were queuing to enter. There was a 2nd-class team of Wu family broadsword at the roadblock. They were registering the warriors who entered and issuing them a silver electronic digital code card. Because the wild beasts were rampant and signal towers could not be built, mobile phones could only check the time or record some information in the wild. If you have special hobbies, forget it. After all, the memory of mobile phones nowadays is very large, and you can download a lot of learning materials. And this kind of electronic digital card has a function of realizing a distance connection. Very suitable for outdoor use. Yi Tian didn't know what the Wu family was doing, so he listened carefully to the noise over there, hoping to hear something. What exactly does the Wu family want to do? Why did they suddenly let us go deep into the cave again? Brother, don't you know yet? The Wu family said that they will not block the deep place anymore. As long as everyone does not plan to attack the general's cave, it will be fine. In addition, they want us to pay attention to people without digital codes and notify them when we meet them. I see, they are letting us in for free to help them find people, right? The Wu family really has a good plan. Brother, keep your voice down, don't let the Wu family hear you, otherwise you will suffer. After hearing what he wanted to know, Yi Tian smiled. The Wu family probably thought he was in the deep place, but they didn't know that he had come out. Immediately, Yi Tian walked to a deserted place and entered the deep place. He naturally would not leave his information there. As for being discovered, if the other party does not know what is good for him, just kill him. However, in order not to cause unnecessary trouble, Yi Tian planned to knock out a lucky person and get a sign. Not long after going deep into the deep place, Yi Tian saw a middle-aged man with a level 4 martial arts cultivation. The man was stunned when he saw that Yi Tian didn't have a number plate on his chest, then he turned around and ran towards the exit. As he ran, he wanted to use the plate to signal, and he shouted, "Here I am! Here I am!" Seeing this, Yi Tian shook his head helplessly. He originally just wanted to knock the man unconscious and take his plate, but he didn't expect that this guy would expose his whereabouts. Crack! Lightning flashed under Yi Tian's feet, and he was behind the man in a moment. The black gold long knife swept across, and the man fell to the ground as a headless corpse before the signal was sent out. He couldn't die anymore. Yi Tian picked up the number plate, confirmed that there was no signal, burned the man's body, and left after blowing the ashes. The depths of the Fallen Leaf Mountains are very large. After Yi Tian walked for more than an hour, he finally found the target. Outside the forest not far away is a green mountain hundreds of meters high. There is a cave 3 or 4 meters high at the foot of the mountain. A second-level beast hunting team of the Wu family is stationed at the entrance of the cave. This is a second-class broadsword team. The team members are generally at the 7th or 8th level of the martial arts realm. The team leader is a young man in his 30s or 40s, at the 10th level of the martial arts realm, with a heavy-looking broadsword on his tall body. I wonder when the third young master and Senior Wang will be able to break through the last layer of the killing array so that we can leave this place. Senior Wang said before that they will be able to break through the last layer of the killing array in about 3 days. By then, the young master will get the things in the martial general's cave and we can leave. We are still lucky. As long as we guard this place, we will complete the mission. Other teams searching for the murderous devil are dangerous. It is said that many teams have been destroyed and died miserably. Senior Wang said before that when he examined the bodies of those people, the murderous devil should be a level 10 martial master, not a martial general. That's good. As long as he doesn't reach the martial general, we are very safe here, but don't take it lightly. Maybe that person came here. That's true, but don't be afraid. Our captain is also a level 10 martial master, and we have 4 high-level martial masters. Even if that person is a genius, can't we hold on until Senior Wang and the third young master arrive? 3 days left, then I'll wait. Hearing the conversation of the second-class team of broadsword, Yi Tian jumped onto a tall tree and found a comfortable position to watch from here. When he killed the second-class team before, Yi Tian had already figured out the information he wanted to know. Not to mention Wu Xuanming, the third young master of the Wu family, although he is a level 10 martial master, none of the king-level martial arts he mastered is perfect. His cultivation level is mostly improved by taking pills, which is very superficial and can't be compared with him at all. The main one is Wang Jinglin, the level 3 general. He practiced a middle-grade king-level skill of the Wu family, Golden Sharp King skill. This skill can cultivate a golden energy with extremely strong penetrating power, which is quite powerful. He also practiced 2 king-level middle-grade martial arts, and both reached the level of great success. One is the sharp gold heavy punch, and the other is the diamond sword technique. In addition, Wang Jinglin also mastered a king-level lower-grade body movement martial arts, and practiced it to perfection. The weapon he used was a real general-level weapon. Such Wang Jinglin is very powerful, and he is a superior existence in the same level. It is indeed difficult for Yi Tian to cross a large realm, and there are 3 small realms to deal with him. But Yi Tian is not afraid of the opponent. After killing so many teams of the Wu family, Yi Tian has accumulated a lot of wealth and can enter the realm of martial generals at any time. By then, he naturally doesn't have to care about Wang Jinglin. Time passed quickly. The sunset fell, and the forest soon became dark. At this time, 2 figures holding flashlights walked out of the cave at the entrance of the cave. The 5 people stationed saw the 2 people and bowed respectfully. Third young master, Senior Wang. The 2 people were one in front and one behind. The former was about 23 or 24 years old, wearing luxurious clothes, not very handsome, and with a slightly sinister temperament. He was Wu Xuanming, the 3rd young master of the Wu family. The man behind him was about 45 or 46 years old, tall and straight, with skin that looked like it was gilded, glowing golden in the faint light. He was Wang Jinglin, a level 3 general. If you look closely, you can see that the aura of the 2 men has been reduced by more than half. Apparently, attacking the 5th level killing array this day consumed a lot of their vitality. Wu Xuanming glanced at the team leader Sun Dao and asked, "Any news about that bad guy?" Sun Dao immediately replying to the 3rd young master, "I haven't received any news from other teams about catching or finding that bad guy, but we didn't lose any team today. I guess that guy might be afraid of the bounty order you issued, and he was scared and left here." Sun Dao said his guess. After hearing what he said, Wu Xuanming snorted coldly. "How can you let him go so easily after killing so many teams of my Wu family? Let the team continue to search, and notify the people in the Family Intelligence Department to collect information about everyone who entered the Fallen Leaf Forest during this period. No matter who he is, no matter how deep he hides, I will find him and punish him severely." Sun Dao straightened his body and replied respectfully, "Yes." After saying this, Wu Xuanming took out a large tent from his space ring. Seeing this, the other people on the side brought in the food they had prepared long ago. Wang Jinglin on the side was about to enter the tent with Wu Xuanming, but suddenly he stopped and turned his head to look at where Yi Tian was. Seeing that his bodyguard was not in a good mood, Wu Xuanming stopped and asked, "What's wrong?" Wang Jinglin shook his head and said, "Master, I just felt a prying gaze from that side, but it's gone now." Prying gaze. Wu Xuanming immediately became alert and glanced at Sun Dao and the others. Swish. Seeing this, the others quickly rushed to the direction Wang Jinglin had just looked at. Not long after, the others returned here again, but the captain Sun Dao had a dead 4th order level 3 alien beast, the tree-colored python, in his hand. Sun Dao threw the 20-meter-long corpse of the tree-colored python on the ground and reported, "Master, I didn't find any traces of human presence there, but I found this beast, which has been killed by me." Wu Xuanming looked at Wang Jinglin and asked, "Is it its breath?" Wang Jinglin looked at the tree-colored python and thought for a while and said, "Maybe it is it." The gaze just now only stayed for a moment, and there is no breath, but if it is a tree-colored python, it is possible. After all, this beast can perfectly restrain all its breath, so it is normal for me not to find it. Is that the vigilance of a powerful general? I almost got discovered by him just by looking at him. Fortunately, I was fast enough and had the great hidden Qi Ju of the general level, so he didn't find his breath. In a forest, Yi Tian found a tree hole, lit a fire, and roasted meat while talking to himself. When hiding in that tree before, Yi Tian found that there was a 4th level exotic beast tree-colored python hidden in the tree. In order not to alert the enemy, he did not kill the other party, but just stunned it. Unexpectedly, it just helped him. It smells good. The pink fox will not come tonight. Looking at the fragrant barbecue in his hand, Yi Tian's index finger moved, and he couldn't help but think of the pink fox he met last night. Swish. At this moment, Yi Tian suddenly felt that his hand was empty, and the fragrant barbecued pork hind leg disappeared again. Yi Tian immediately looked around. Soon he saw a pink figure on a thick branch eating the barbecue that originally belonged to him in small bites. The pink figure was the pink little fox. I saw it stretching out its rosy little mouth, like a little lady, eating with white pearly teeth in small bites. When it felt hot, it would blow air like a human. Noticed that Yi Tian was looking at it. The pink fox did not leave this time. Anyway, it looked at Yi Tian with its pair of pink eyes, as if it was not afraid of Yi Tian at all. Yi Tian suddenly felt curious and asked subconsciously, "Aren't you afraid of me?" After saying this, Yi Tian laughed. This fox beast is so weak, it is estimated that its intelligence is not very high. How could it understand what he said? But what surprised Yi Tian was that the pink little fox seemed to respond to him and shook its small pink head. Then it moved its small nose, obviously attracted by the aroma of the barbecue again. It lowered its head and ate it in small bites like a lady. Seeing the pink little fox shaking its head at him, Yi Tian was stunned for a moment and then laughed. It's probably an accident. It's just a beast. How could it really understand what I say? If it can understand, it would be strange. After saying that, Yi Tian took out a pig's hind leg from the space bag again and continued to roast it. Not long after, the tempting aroma floated out again. Yi Tian noticed that the little fox had just finished eating the barbecue that he had snatched from his hand. Smelling the fragrance coming from Yi Tian, it sniffed its nose and then looked down at its pink belly in a humane way before retracting its gaze. But this time it did not leave, but walked towards Yi Tian, but kept pacing 3 or 4 meters away from Yi Tian, as if it wanted to get close to Yi Tian but did not dare. Could it be that this fox is very intelligent? Seeing this scene, Yi Tian could not help but think so. Although the intelligence of the second-level beasts is not very high, it does not mean that there are no high ones. There are all kinds of strange things in the world, and there are always some strange beasts with high intelligence from the beginning. Yi Tian knows that the offspring of some beasts of the emperor level and above can turn into human form at birth. This is related to their parents. Beasts can generally turn into human form when they reach the emperor level. So the offspring they give birth to can generally turn into human form, and have intelligence that is not inferior to that of humans. But this pink little fox. After taking a look, Yi Tian shook his head. The strongest beast near Anshang City is only a level 10 beast king. There is not even one emperor level beast, let alone 2, and they are just a male and a female, and they are combined. If there were beasts of this level near Anshang City would have been destroyed by the beasts long ago. Besides, let alone emperor-level beasts, even king-level fox beasts are not near Anshang City. However, when I think of this pink fox, it may have a bloodline talent, and it may be a mutant, so its intelligence is higher than that of the beasts of the same level. If this point can make sense. Seeing this, Yi Tian suddenly became very interested. If I can subdue this fox, it may be of great help to me in the future. Thinking of this, Yi Tian decisively took out a third-level beast core and threw it to the pink little fox. The pink little fox was stunned when she saw this, and didn't understand what Yi Tian meant. She didn't catch the beast core, but let it fall to the ground. This action puzzled Yi Tian. Don't beasts like beast cores or yuan medicines that contain yuan qi? Logically speaking, he took out the third-level beast core, and the pink little fox should be very excited to bite it and refine the vitality in it. Is it a stupid fox? Just know how to eat barbecue. Thinking of this, Yi Tian planned to try again. This time he took out a 4th-level beast core. This was found in a martial arts master's space bag, from a wood-attributed beast. The vitality in this beast core is relatively pure and gentle, which also means it is easy to refine. This time, the pink little fox also did not take it. It seemed to see Yi Tian's purpose, and there seemed to be a trace of disdain in its pink pupils. The 2nd-level beast actually disliked the 4th-level beast core. This made Yi Tian speechless. Forget it, I'll keep it for myself. Yi Tian had no choice but to use his energy to suck the 2 beast cores into his hands, put them back into the space bag, and then eat the barbecue. Not to mention, his cooking skills are great and the taste is great. After eating, Yi Tian entered the tree hole and lay on the comfortable blanket to prepare for sleep. He didn't care about the pink little fox anymore, and it was estimated that it would leave by itself later. Because he didn't feel any malice from the little fox, Yi Tian closed his eyes and rested. However, Yi Tian also kept a sense of vigilance, just in case. Seeing Yi Tian fall asleep, the little fox walked forward a few steps and then fell asleep by the fire. One night without words, when the next day came, Yi Tian found that the little fox was still there. Seeing him wake up, the little fox's cute pink ears moved a little, then opened his eyes, and then looked at Yi Tian motionlessly. No way, you want me to take care of your breakfast? Looking at the expression on the little fox's face, Yi Tian guessed. The little fox nodded humanely when he heard what Yi Tian said, and his mouth opened slightly, revealing an expectant smile. Okay, but it's not good to eat barbecue in the morning, I have a feast here. Seeing that it was indeed the case, Yi Tian hesitated for a while, and finally agreed. He was more convinced that this pink little fox was a mutant, with high intelligence and could understand human language. He simply wanted to eat, so Yi Tian took out a bunch of delicacies from the space bag. Egg custard, 8 treasure lean meat porridge, crab roe buns, luminous fried rice, made by a 5-star hotel. Each one is delicious, and many of them are cooked with yuanyao materials, and they exude a strong yuanqi fluctuation as soon as they are taken out. These delicacies were found by Yi Tian from a level 9 Wuzong space bag of the Wu family. That guy is probably a foodie, and there are a lot of food in the space bag. Because the space bag has a heat preservation function, it is still hot when it is taken out, just like it is freshly cooked. As soon as the delicious food appeared, the pink little fox's pink eyes lit up, and clear saliva was visible at the corners of his mouth. It seems that you are also a foodie, come, eat. Seeing the little fox wanting to eat, Yi Tian gently put the food in front of the pink little fox, and then he started to eat. After eating, Yi Tian went to the cave entrance to understand the progress there. However, not long after walking, Yi Tian found that the little fox was following him. Its body was very light and its speed was not slower than his. Don't follow me, you will be discovered. Yi Tian turned to the little fox and said. He has a perfect hidden breath secret technique that can hide his own breath very well. But the little fox is only a second-level cultivation. If he goes there, he will be a light bulb and will be easily discovered. Yi Tian doesn't want to expose himself because of the little fox. Hearing Yi Tian's words, the little fox blinked. The next second, Yi Tian was surprised to find that the breath of the little fox disappeared without a trace in an instant. If you don't look with your eyes, it seems that the little fox is not there at all. This method of hiding breath is not worse than his, and it may even be stronger. What is the origin of this fox? Is it another bloodline talent? Yi Tian was quite surprised. He wanted to ask, but he thought about it and gave up. Although the little fox could understand its words, it couldn't speak, so it was useless for him to ask. Since you can hide your breath, come with me, but you can't reveal it without my permission, okay? Yi Tian looked serious, and the little fox nodded seriously. Not long after, the man and the fox came to the cave entrance again to observe the situation at the cave entrance. Boom boom boom. It seemed that it was the last moment, and there were violent roars from time to time in the cave. Sometimes the noise was so loud that the whole hill was shaking, and it seemed that it might collapse at any time. The people of the Broadsword second team were still on duty, chatting from time to time, so that Yi Tian got some information. In this way, Yi Tian and the little fox had been squatting in the woods, and at noon they took out a bunch of delicacies to eat. As soon as the little fox saw the food, his eyes lit up, as if he hadn't eaten for a long time, and his saliva almost flowed out. Eat, these are all yours, if not enough, there are more. Yi Tian generously took out a bunch of delicacies and put them in front of the little fox. He also took out some delicacies and ate them leisurely. After eating, Yi Tian and the little fox continued to stare at the movement at the entrance of the cave. Although the people of the Broadsword team said that it would take about 3 days for the third young master of the Wu family and the general named Wang Jinglin to break the last layer of the killing array. But no one dared to guarantee that they were not wrong in their estimation of this time. To prevent the third young master of the Wu family from breaking the last layer of the killing array in advance and taking away the things inside, Yi Tian had to keep watching and waiting here. In this way, an afternoon passed, the sunset fell again, and the movement in the cave stopped. Wu Xuanming and Wang Jinglin came out again with flashlights. This time, both of them looked at the surrounding woods and searched carefully. But after looking for a long time, they found nothing, so they retracted their gazes and went into the tent to eat, drink and rest. Seeing that both of them had entered the tent, Sun Dao and others were still guarding in front of the cave entrance. Yi Tian suddenly had an idea, should he go in and take a look tonight? Only by knowing yourself and the enemy can you win every battle. He didn't know the situation in the cave yet, and now the third young master of the Wu family and Wang Jinglin were not there. He could just go in and take a look. But the difficulty was not to let the guards notice him. Yi Tian thought about it and planned to stay here for a while to see if Sun Dao and others would rest at night. The sky was getting darker and darker. It was almost midnight, which was also the time when people were most sleepy. The lights in the tent had been turned off, and Sun Dao and his men were dozing off. Soon Sun Dao arranged 2 team members to continue guarding, while he and the remaining 3 rested on the rocks. Seeing that only 3 people were resting, Yi Tian knew that he had no chance tonight. Although there were only 2 Wuzongs on guard, his speed was not fast enough to break in under their noses. Yi Tian glanced at the little fox, and it was estimated that only it could do it. Seeing the regretful expression on Yi Tian's face when he looked at the entrance of the cave, and then looked at himself. The little fox blinked and pointed at the cave with his little head, as if asking Yi Tian if he wanted to go in. Can you take me in without letting the people over there find out? Yi Tian understood what the little fox meant and asked. When the little fox heard what Yi Tian said, he raised his head and nodded seriously, looking very confident. Seeing this, Yi Tian's face was happy, and he immediately said, "Then take me in, I will prepare more delicious food for you tonight." As if thinking of the picture, the little fox swallowed his saliva and nodded heavily. It walked to Yi Tian, put one of its front paws on Yi Tian, and then a transparent and colorless energy enveloped Yi Tian. Just as Yi Tian was sensing what the energy was, swish! Yi Tian found a flash of pink light at the spot, and then his eyes blurred. When he appeared again, Yi Tian found that he and the little fox had already arrived in the cave. The cave was dark, and the man and the fox had powerful secret techniques to hide their breath, so even if someone looked into the cave, they would not be discovered. When the man and the fox entered the cave, the 2 people guarding the entrance did not notice it at all. Is it in now? So simple. And the speed of movement just now? No, that is not a speed of movement at all, it seems to have come in an instant. Could it be a body movement in space? Thinking of this, Yi Tian was not calm. Time is the emperor, space is the king. No matter what involves time and space, it will never be simple. When he thought that the little fox was suspected of mastering the blood talent of teleportation, Yi Tian was greatly shocked. He also thought carefully in his mind, what kind of blood talent of the strange beast is related to space? But he didn't think about it for a long time. Fortunately, Yi Tian is not a tangled person. He didn't think about it when he couldn't figure it out, but walked into the cave with the little fox. The cave was deep and winding. According to the slope, it led to the underground. After walking for several hundred meters, the man and the fox came to a large space in the mountain. It was pitch black in the cave, and nothing could be seen. The air was also filled with a chaotic energy with various properties, which was very bad for the body if inhaled. Yi Tian also understood why Wu Xuanming and Wang Jinglin had to go back outside to rest. Obviously, this place was not suitable for them to recover the vitality consumed during the day. Yi Tian took out a strong flashlight from the space bag, and as the flashlight turned on, the scene in front of him suddenly became clear. This space in the mountain is several hundred meters long, 20 to 30 meters wide, and 20 to 30 meters high. There were many broken needle plates and destroyed weapons scattered on the ground. Judging from the marks on the weapons, most of them belonged to the city defense army. Yi Tian thought of what he had heard before, saying that the city defense army discovered this place first, and then many people were killed by the killing array, and then the Wu family arrived. Not finding any valuable weapons, Yi Tian looked forward and saw an open cave at the end of the mountain space. There was a skeleton sitting cross-legged on a cushion in the cave. There was a silver ring on the middle finger of the skeleton's right hand. Yi Tian took a breath when he saw the silver ring. He knew it was a space ring, a valuable auxiliary treasure. It must be the corpse of the owner of this cave. I don't know how long he has been dead, but the killing array he set up is still so terrible. A general and a level 10 martial master have spent so much time together and failed to break it. Yi Tian and the little fox moved forward. When they walked about 30 meters away from the cave, Yi Tian keenly sensed the danger and stopped. Looking to both sides, he found that there were needle plates on both sides. The light on it was not obvious, and several small cracks could be seen. Yi Tian believed that as long as he took another step, the killing array would be activated and launch a fierce attack on him. The people of the Wu family were still outside, so Yi Tian would naturally not force his way in. Instead of forcing others in, it would be better to let the people of the Wu family break the last layer of the killing array and benefit from it. By the way, little fox, can you teleport in? Yi Tian suddenly had an idea and looked at the little fox with burning eyes. The little fox's bloodline talent seemed to be teleportation, so it might be able to ignore this killing array and break in. But soon Yi Tian was disappointed, and saw the little fox shaking his head at him. Yi Tian thought about it and it was true. Although teleportation is a spatial ability, the array also has the effect of blocking space, so it is normal that the little fox cannot get in. In that case, let's go out and come back tomorrow. Back outside, Yi Tian came to the tree hole last night and found that it was occupied by a strange beast. There was also a large pile not far away, which smelled terrible. He had no choice but to leave here and choose another place. In another forest, Yi Tian found a big tree with a thick trunk. After confirming that there were no strange beasts around, Yi Tian took out the black gold long knife and dug a spacious tree hole on the trunk. He liked a big place to sleep. He took out some soft blankets from the space bag and spread them on it. After thinking about it, Yi Tian also put a soft blanket next to the lit fire. Next is the time to make barbecue. This time Yi Tian took out 2 cow hind legs and roasted them. With the previous 2 times, Yi Tian roasted them not long this time. He took one and put one on a low table for the little fox to eat. This is the hind leg of the 4th level strange beast armored rhinoceros. Although his skin is as hard as fine iron, the meat under the skin is very elastic and delicious. It can be seen from the satisfied look on the little fox's face. While eating happily, Yi Tian also took out some juice. He gave the little fox a lot, as a reward for its help tonight. Gurgle. The little fox drank very quickly, and it obviously liked the taste of these juices. After eating and drinking, Yi Tian lay on the soft blanket in the tree hole to sleep, not to mention how comfortable it was. The little fox looked at the blanket next to the fire, then looked at the blanket in the tree hole, and then walked in. Its small body lay down on the edge of the blanket, curled up, and seemed to enjoy it, with pink eyes squinting, and then fell into a deep sleep. Yi Tian glanced at it and didn't drive it away. After all, this little guy helped him tonight, how could he be so ruthless? Even boss Zhou Baopi couldn't do such a thing. Yi Tian closed his eyes and fell asleep quickly. But while sleeping, Yi Tian found a soft thing squeezing into his arms. Could it be a little fox? Thinking that there was only a pink little fox around him, Yi Tian thought about it and didn't push the other party away. He had noticed before that the pink little fox was a female fox. If it was a male fox, humph, go to hell. But what is this? Soft and super big. Yi Tian was stunned for a moment. He felt that he was not touching a fox, but rather a human body, especially a special part of a woman's upper body. At this time, Yi Tian also felt a long leg on his leg, and then he felt the amazing softness and elasticity on his cheek. What is this? Yi Tian immediately opened his eyes and saw the situation in the tree hole with the light from the fire. You don't know until you see it, and you will be shocked. Yi Tian found that he didn't know when, and a beautiful girl was lying beside him. The girl had a tall figure, white and tender skin, as if she could squeeze water out. Her waist-length waterfall-like hair was spread out, exuding a pleasant fragrance. She was wearing a pink dress, and below her white neck was a chest that was no smaller than Yao Ruowu's. The breasts below were pressed against him, and the other was in his hand. Yi Tian also understood why his hand felt soft and huge. It turned out that he was holding someone's key point. And below the girl's huge breasts was a willow-like waist that could be held in one hand, and Yi Tian swallowed his saliva when he saw it. It was hard to imagine what kind of person could resist such a thin waist. Below the thin waist was the hips wrapped in a pink dress, which looked the way Yi Tian liked, not too big or too small, just right. The most terrible thing was that the girl's legs were long and straight, and one of them was resting on his leg at the moment, and it was extending upward from time to time. Especially the pink silk stockings on this pair of long legs, extending to an unknown place. Seeing this, Yi Tian really wanted to lift the girl's skirt to see what kind of mysterious place the pink stockings extended to. It made Xiao Tian restless. And on the girl's feet were a pair of pink shoes. Yi Tian was a little confused. Who was this girl, and why did she suddenly run into his arms? A gift from nature. Do you want to be a hooligan? But where is the little fox? At this time, Yi Tian noticed that the little fox sleeping on the edge of the blanket was gone. After a moment of hesitation, Yi Tian suddenly had a bold idea in his mind. Could it be that this girl is the little fox? Thinking of this, Yi Tian couldn't believe it. Obviously, the other party was a fox not long ago, but now she has turned into a girl who looks very innocent but is so lustful. He dared not think about it. Ah, hooligan. At this time, the girl in his arms suddenly opened her eyes, as if she sensed something wrong with her chest. She lowered her pink little head and saw the unruly big hand on her chest, and she screamed immediately. Hey, don't scream first, it's a misunderstanding, I'll explain it to you. Realizing the reason for the other party's scream, Yi Tian hurriedly covered the girl's lips. Soft, hot, I don't know what it feels like to bite. Bah, what time is it, what am I thinking about? Yi Tian was stunned for a moment, and quickly stopped this bad idea. He immediately said, this is deep in the Fallen Leaf Mountains. There are many 4th-level monsters around, and there are people from the Wu family. You will alarm them if you shout like this. Just promise me that you won't shout and I will let go of your hand, okay? If you agree, just nod your head. After explaining, Yi Tian looked at the girl. The girl seemed to feel shy when Yi Tian covered her lips, and her face turned red. Yi Tian felt his hand getting hotter and hotter. Then Yi Tian saw the girl nodded. Seeing this, Yi Tian loosened his hand covering the girl's lips. Why, scratch me, there. The girl really didn't shout anymore, lowered her head, asked shyly, and her face became even redder. Yi Tian had no choice but to tell the situation in his sleep, saying, Girl, I didn't mean it. I was sleeping well, but I didn't expect you to suddenly run into my arms. You put your face on mine, and you also put your legs on me. My hand accidentally touched your thing. Humph, you obviously scratched it, it's deformed. After hearing what Yi Tian said, the girl was still very angry and directly exposed Yi Tian's lie. Just saying this, her face seemed to be burning red, and it became even hotter. Wasn't I curious in my sleep? I thought there was no one around me, how could there be such a soft and big thing, so I scratched it. I really didn't mean it. Just once. The girl stared at Yi Tian with a pair of pink eyes. Ah, maybe several times, I don't remember, Yi Tian scratched his head embarrassedly. Humph, you are really a bad guy, a hooligan, you have to be responsible for me. The girl glanced at Yi Tian, and I don't know if it was because she saw that Yi Tian was so handsome, but she suddenly changed the subject while scolding. Responsible? Are you sure you want me to be responsible? Hearing the girl's words, Yi Tian was stunned for a moment, and he didn't quite understand what the girl meant. Let yourself be responsible, is there such a good thing in the world? Is this the benefit of handsome men? Yi Tian thought that if he was an ugly man, it would probably be his life instead of his responsibility. Hearing what Yi Tian said, the little fox lowered his hot face slightly, and then nodded his head heavily and said, Mom said that this place is one of the most important places for me, can't be touched by any man, unless it is my husband. When she said the last few words, the girl seemed to have spent all her strength, her voice became smaller and smaller, and her head lowered. Her originally white cheeks were now red like dripping blood. Her body temperature seemed to have risen by more than 10 degrees at once. Oh, then okay, I can take responsibility, but I want to know who you are. Why did you suddenly run into my arms, and did you see the little fox next to me? Seeing the girl so weak, cute and innocent, Yi Tian couldn't help but feel pity for her, especially since the girl was so beautiful, he would not suffer any loss even if he took responsibility. Ah, little fox, actually. When the girl heard Yi Tian talking about the little fox, her voice got lower and lower, as if she didn't know what to say. Puff. Yi Tian laughed at this. Now he naturally knew that the little fox was the girl. If I'm not mistaken, the little fox is you, right? Seeing the girl hesitating and not knowing what to say, Yi Tian took the initiative to ask. The girl looked at Yi Tian with her big pink clear eyes in surprise and said, How do you know? Did you see me transform? Yi Tian smiled and shook his head, and after looking around the girl, he said, I didn't see it, but isn't it obvious? Is it obvious? The girl looked down at herself. She is a human now, what is the difference between her and a fox? Seeing the girl's silly and innocent look, Yi Tian found it very interesting and explained with a smile. The little fox is all pink, and the pupils are also pink. What about you? Your hair is pink, the pupils are also pink, and you are wearing a pink long skirt. Isn't it obvious? There is a sentence Yi Tian didn't say. Although he fell asleep, he still kept a small part of his attention outside. If someone else really approached him, he would naturally know, but no one approached here just now. So after a short days, Yi Tian knew that the girl was a little fox. 5-star General MacArthur once said, "When all impossibilities are eliminated, no matter what remains, no matter how unbelievable it is the truth." So you are the little fox. Looking at the girl's lovely and beautiful face, with a pair of jade hands pinching the corners of her clothes and looking uneasy, Yi Tian spoke in a gentle tone, with a smile on his face, full of tenderness. Seeing that she was recognized by Yi Tian, the girl had to admit it, nodded gently and said, "Yeah." Seeing that the girl finally admitted it, Yi Tian smiled. It seems that he has picked up a treasure. The little fox can transform below the king level. She is at least the descendant of the emperor level beast, or even the descendant of a stronger beast. After all, the little fox has a bloodline talent. Then let's get to know each other formally. My name is Yi Tian. What's your name, girl? Yi Tian has a gentle attitude and a soft look at the girl sitting on the blanket with a pair of long legs folded together. As if sensing Yi Tian's kindness, the girl gently opened her pink lips, raised her head slightly and looked at Yi Tian and said, "My name is Tu but my parents call me Fen'er, you can call me Fen'er too." Fen'er, that's very appropriate. Yi Tian looked at the girl. Pink hair, pink pupils, pink lips, a pink dress, pink shoes, not to mention how pink it was. "Fen'er, can you tell me where you came from?" The fire was burning outside, and the orange flames made it very warm. Yi Tian was very curious about the origin of the little fox. Tu shook her head when she heard this, and her clear eyes flashed with embarrassment. "Why, can't you tell me?" Yi Tian leaned towards the girl and asked. Tu nodded and said, "Grandma said that we can't leak the place where we live, otherwise it will attract bad people, especially humans, and it will be very dangerous for us." Oh, seeing this, Yi Tian stopped asking. He didn't want to embarrass this very innocent girl, so he asked curiously, "Then you approached me just for barbecue? Aren't you afraid that I will hurt you?" Yi Tian didn't understand this. Since the girl's grandmother told her that humans were dangerous, why did the girl approach him and snatch his barbecue? After all, the cultivation level he showed was much higher than that of the girl. Speaking of barbecue, Tu swallowed her saliva and nodded. Then she shook her head and replied, "I'm not afraid that you will hurt me, because I know you can't hurt me, and I can sense that you have no ill will towards me." The girl's words made Yi Tian very curious. "You can sense this too? Is it your bloodline talent? Or a secret technique?" Tu nodded and said, "It's one of my 3 bloodline talents, the sense of maliciousness." Good guy. Hearing the word 3, Yi Tian was shocked. What is the concept of 3 bloodline talents? Whether it is a human or a beast, having one bloodline talent is already a great genius, and the starting point of the future is the king. But the girl is good, not only has bloodline talents, but also 3. What kind of qualifications is this? The posture of the beast emperor? Or the more terrifying posture of the emperor? However, when I think of the girl with such a great bloodline talent, she is so innocent and wants me to be responsible for her. Yi Tian wants to laugh. His luck is also unmatched. But the girl's bloodline talent is so great, I guess her parents are not weak. It is estimated that they are not lower than the beast saint or even the beast emperor. Thinking of this, Yi Tian sighed in his heart. I guess he wants to be responsible for the girl, but the girl's parents will not give him a chance, right? Maybe after knowing it, they will slap him to death. Although the girl is innocent, it does not mean that her parents are innocent. Fen'er, can you tell me what realm your parents are in? Didn't you just say that I should be responsible for you? At least let me know who your parents are, what they do, and what realm they are in, so that I can be prepared. Yi Tian asked tentatively. In order not to be slapped to death by the girl's parents one day, Yi Tian planned to find out about the girl's parents first. When Tulinger heard this, a layer of sadness covered her delicate, white and beautiful face, and she cried in sorrow. Fenir's parents went out 5 years ago and never came back. Grandma said. Grandma said they went to a mysterious secret realm, but I asked Grandma many times, and Grandma didn't tell me where the secret realm was. But Yi Tian, don't worry. Although my parents are very powerful, they are very gentle and easy to talk to. They will not hurt you. Although the girl could only sense malice, she still carefully saw a trace of uneasiness on Yi Tian's face. She raised her head and looked at Yi Tian with her big eyes wrapped in a layer of mist, her tone full of concern. Thank you for your concern, don't worry. Since your parents are so strong, I believe they will definitely come back alive. Seeing the weak and pitiful appearance of the girl, Yi Tian couldn't help but lean over and rub the girl's pink hair. It was very soft and smooth, with a natural fragrance. The girl closed her eyes in enjoyment, with a smile on her face. After a while, she opened her eyes and said to Yi Tian seriously, Fenir also believes that Fenir's parents will come back safely. Even if they can't come back, Fenir will find them back. Well, I believe you, and I will help you. Yi Tian nodded, and didn't know how he made such a promise to the girl. Really, Yi Tian, you are so nice. Fenir believes that your parents will like you when they see you. Seeing that Yi Tian believed and was willing to help herself, Tulinger's pink eyes suddenly exuded a sparkling brilliance, and the smile on her face was so beautiful. Seeing the girl suddenly fade away from sadness and become happy, Yi Tian also felt the same way and smiled and replied, I also believe that your parents will like me. In fact, Yi Tian is not a person who likes to make promises, but once he makes a promise, he will definitely fulfill it. Especially for such a simple girl who has helped him. Seeing that it was already late at night, thinking that he might have another big battle tomorrow and urgently needed to replenish his energy, Yi Tian said, Fenir, it's getting late, let's rest. Hearing the word rest, the girl's face climbed a layer of ruddy again. The tree hole is relatively spacious, but it is only for one person, but now there are 2 people here. Yi Tian saw the shyness of the girl, and immediately his heart moved, and joked, Fenir, didn't you say that I would be responsible for you? Then I will be your future husband. It's not too much for me to sleep with you in advance. As soon as these words came out, the girl's face became even redder. He shyly bent his slender waist, buried his little head tightly in a pair of fierce things, and his loose pink hair spread like a waterfall, and the fragrant wind blew, not to mention how attractive it was. Fenir, I'm just kidding you, you sleep here, I'll sleep by the fire. Seeing the girl getting embarrassed, Yi Tian regretted what he said. But he was just talking, he didn't mean to take advantage of the girl, and was about to leave. But when Yi Tian was halfway there, he heard a voice as low as a mosquito. No need to go out. I'll just hide in the corner of the tree will be fine. In the end, Yi Tian went out and gave the tree hole to the girl. As a man, how could he let a girl hide in the corner of the tree? What kind of look would that make him look? No words were spoken that night. The next morning, Yi Tian got up early and prepared food. When he walked into the tree hole and prepared to call the girl to get up, he found that there was no girl at all. Instead, there was a pink little fox sleeping on the soft blanket. Yi Tian rubbed his eyes, thinking that he had seen it wrong. I remember it was a girl last night, how come it was a little fox again? Did it change back again? At this time, the little fox's ears moved. She heard the sound of Yi Tian coming in and opened her beautiful pink eyes. The little fox seemed to know Yi Tian's surprise and slowly explained, Yi Tian, my transformation is not mature yet. I can only turn into a human form at night and turn into my original form during the day. This time, the little fox spoke, and the voice was exactly the same as the girl's last night, which was very nice. Obviously, the girl in the fox state can speak, but she probably didn't trust Yi Tian before, so she didn't speak. However, Yi Tian was confused, and looked at the little fox in confusion. Fenir, what do you mean by your immaturity in transformation? Isn't it only the emperor-level beasts that can transform? How can you transform with your second-level cultivation? This made Yi Tian confused, and he even had a bold guess in his heart. Fenir is not the offspring of a powerful beast. She can transform because of her cultivation. But when Yi Tian thought of this, he felt it was impossible. The little fox walked in front of Yi Tian and looked up at Yi Tian. Seeing this, Yi Tian squatted down and touched the soft head of the little fox with his hand. The little fox narrowed his pink eyes slightly, and then explained, Yi Tian, in fact, I could transform into a human form at will when I was very young, but later my father and mother got a fruit from somewhere for me to eat. After eating it, I turned into my original body and could no longer transform into a human form. But that fruit is delicious. My father and mother also told me that the fruit can enhance my potential, that is, it will make me return to my original body. If I want to transform into a human form at will again, I need to reach the king level. Yi Tian, I have only reached the general realm now, so I can't completely control my transformation. Also, I will suddenly turn into a human form at night, and turn back to my original form after dawn. Yi Tian, will you dislike me? I can't I turn into a human all the time? The little fox said with a trace of worry in his eyes. After hearing the little fox's words, Yi Tian was stunned. What did he hear? Fenrir is not a second-level cultivator, but a general realm cultivator. Seeing that the girl was worried that he disliked her, Yi Tian's heart suddenly hurt. His hand stroking the little fox's soft fur became softer and softer, and he smiled and said, how could I dislike you, and you have reached the general realm at such a young age, which is much more powerful than me. It is not easy to reach the king realm. Yi Tian also understood the real reason why the little fox told him that he could not hurt her before. He thought it was because the other party had the blood talent of teleportation. Now Yi Tian understood that the girl was talking about cultivation at that time. Well, Yi Tian, I will try my best to reach the king realm as soon as possible, and then transform into a human form every day to stay with you. Seeing that Yi Tian did not despise him, the little fox's voice became cheerful. Okay, I'll wait for you. Yi Tian nodded, and then took the little fox out for breakfast. This time he took out a variety of delicacies, and knew that the little fox liked to drink sweet juice, so he also took out some. While eating, Yi Tian also asked curiously, Fenrir, you said you want to be with me every day, don't your family worry about you? The girl mentioned his grandmother before. Hearing this, the little fox sat on the blanket absent-mindedly, and his food was not delicious, and his expression was a little melancholy. What's wrong? Can you tell me? Seeing that the little fox's expression was not right, Yi Tian asked with concern. The little fox looked up at Yi Tian, tears in his eyes, and said with a crying voice, Yi Tian, I don't know. I don't know how to go back. This made Yi Tian stunned. Don't know how to go back? Are you sure? You are a strong man comparable to a general. Could it be that you are a road idiot? Yi Tian thought for a while and said, then you can tell me if there are any famous places near your home, I will see if I know. Even if I don't know, don't worry, I can help you find it on the internet, I believe I can help you find the way home. The girl was reluctant to mention where she lived before, and Yi Tian did not ask further. The little fox looked at Yi Tian, and the simple girl was easily moved by sincerity. She could feel Yi Tian's sincerity towards her. Thank you, Yi Tian, you are so kind to me. As he said that, the little fox told Yi Tian a place name. Beast Emperor Mountain. Yi Tian was stunned when he heard the name. Just from the name, he knew that this place was not simple. However, Yi Tian didn't know where Beast Emperor Mountain was, and there was no signal here, so he had to say, Fenrir, I remember this name. I will help you check it after returning to the city. I will definitely help you find your home. Hearing Yi Tian's serious promise, the little fox suddenly became happy and said, well, Yi Tian, I believe you. Then one person and one fox ate delicious food, and after eating, they went to the entrance of the cave. Yi Tian, do you want the space ring of the owner of the cave? On a big tree, the bored little fox blinked his cute big eyes and asked Yi Tian. Yi Tian, who was leaning against the tree trunk, nodded and said, yes, the space ring is a good thing, and the corpse is a general, so he must have a lot of good things on him. When the little fox heard what Yi Tian said, he asked in confusion, Yi Tian, is the space ring a good thing? I have a lot of them at home, and I have an extra one. If you want it, I'll give it to you. As he spoke, the little fox stretched out his claws, and a silver space ring appeared on it. This silver space ring is engraved with many auspicious beasts, which is very beautiful, and it can be seen that the value is not too low. However, Yi Tian was stunned by the little fox's move. He didn't remember that the little fox was carrying space equipment. Where did she get this space ring? Wait, this space ring won't be a treasure of the king level, or even above the king level. There are different levels of natural treasures, from low to high, basic, elementary, intermediate, high, general, king, etc. Generally, treasures that reach the king level can be stored in the dantian and receive the nourishment of vitality. However, space treasures cannot be placed in equipment in the space, so they can only be placed in the dantian. This means that this silver space ring is still a treasure of at least the king level. What's wrong, Yi Tian, don't you like this space ring? But when I left, I didn't know I would lose my way home, so I just took this space ring from the treasure house. Although I have another one, it was given to me by my parents on my birthday, so I can't give it to you. Seeing that Yi Tian didn't take the space ring in his hand, the little fox thought that Yi Tian didn't like it, and his expression became lost. Yi Tian hurriedly explained, "Fenrir, it's not that I don't like this space ring, I just think it's too precious, it's not appropriate for me to take it. The value of the king-level treasure is extraordinary, not to mention that it is a space ring." Yi Tian is naturally embarrassed to take the space ring of the little fox. And this space ring may not only be king-level. Hearing the reason for Yi Tian's refusal, the little fox's clear eyes were suddenly covered with a layer of mist, and he said in a sob, "Yi Tian, you are a big liar. You said you were responsible for Fenrir. Are you responsible for Fenrir now?" Seeing the little fox say this, Yi Tian was stunned. Some people don't understand how he just doesn't want this space ring and how he is not responsible for the girl. "Fenrir, I didn't say I'm not responsible for you. I just think this space ring is very precious and I can't just take it casually." Seeing the little fox's tearful appearance, Yi Tian felt uncomfortable and hurried to comfort her. The little fox still sobbed and choked. "Then why don't you want the space ring that Fenrir gave you? Mom said that husband and wife are a family. The gifts given to each other are not expensive but only thoughtful. If you don't want to be responsible for Fenrir, then why don't you want the thoughtfulness that Fenrir gave you?" This explanation is very confusing. Yi Tian suddenly wanted to meet Fenrir's mother. "Aren't you afraid of teaching your daughter to be a fool? And then being cheated? Fortunately, Fenrir met a good man like me. If he didn't accept this space ring, the little fox would think he was a heartless man and was very sad." Yi Tian had no choice but to take the silver space ring from the little fox. Hee. Seeing Yi Tian accept it, the little fox burst into laughter instantly, and the sound made Yi Tian feel better. Looking at the space ring in his hand, Yi Tian smiled slightly. He didn't expect that his first space ring was obtained in this way. Then Yi Tian curiously injected his vitality into the space ring. The next second, a very huge space appeared in his field of vision. The length, width and height of the huge space is no less than 10,000 meters, and the volume is no less than 1 trillion cubic meters. Yi Tian was stunned. If this thing is sold, the value is unimaginable. At the same time, Yi Tian also learned some information about this space ring, called the Holy Ring of Transfer. The level has even reached the holy grade. It's actually a holy artifact of the highest quality. I didn't expect Fenrir to be a wealthy woman, but this thing should have other functions. Yi Tian didn't believe that a holy artifact of the highest quality only had the function of storing space, which was too much of an underestimation of the holy artifact. After some understanding, Yi Tian quickly understood all the functions of this space ring. There are 3 in total. The first one is storage, a total of trillions of cubic meters. The second one is the holy light shield. When encountering a crisis, it can stimulate a holy light to protect itself, and its power can block the full force of a level 10 martial saint. Although the defense is very strong, it requires energy consumption. The energy consumed each time is a huge number. Fortunately, this ring is extraordinary, and it contains a swallowing array inside, which can swallow the vitality in the void to replenish itself. So this space ring contains a lot of vitality energy, which can be activated 3 times to resist the full force of a level 10 martial saint. Of course, it can also be activated by the user's vitality. Yi Tian estimated that if he used all his strength, even a level 10 general would not be able to break his defense. The third is spatial teleportation. Consuming vitality can activate the teleportation array in the ring. The more vitality consumed, the farther the teleportation distance. However, to use this ability of the ring, you need to have a minimum level of military commander. Yi Tian is not worried about this, as he is not far from the level of military commander. And even if he doesn't have enough vitality to use it, he can use the vitality in the ring. What a good thing. With it, I can leave calmly even if I face a martial saint in the future. Fenrir is really my lucky star. Excited, Yi Tian hugged Fenrir's soft body in his arms. Ah, Yi Tian, we haven't gotten married yet, you can't do bad things to me now. The little fox was suddenly held in Yi Tian's arms, and she was stunned for a moment, followed by her trembling voice. She thought Yi Tian wanted to do what her mother once told her that men like to do to girls. When she thought of that kind of thing, her pretty face turned red with shyness. However, because of the original form, Yi Tian could not see this state. Hearing the little fox's words, Yi Tian chuckled, and then put down the little fox and said, "Silly girl, what are you thinking about? I'm just very grateful that you gave me a very powerful treasure, so I can't help but hold you in my arms, and if I want to do something bad to you, I will wait until you become a human form before doing it." "Oh, it's Fenrir. Fenrir misunderstood you, Yi Tian, I'm sorry." Hearing Yi Tian's explanation, the little fox lowered her head in embarrassment, but knowing that she had misunderstood Yi Tian, she hurriedly apologized, her voice 3 points weaker than before. Yi Tian looked at the weak appearance of the little fox and couldn't imagine doing that kind of thing under such circumstances. "Stop, don't think about it. He doesn't have a heavy taste. He only likes the appearance of the little fox after it transformed last night." Put the transfer holy ring into the cyclone in the Dantian. While refining this holy weapon, Yi Tian observed the situation in the cave. The refining of the holy weapon is a slow and steady process, and you can't be impatient. Yi Tian estimated that according to his own speed, it would take about 2 months to completely refine this holy weapon. However, if his cultivation level improves in the middle, the refining speed will also increase a lot. Ha ha ha, it's finally opened, this killing array has finally been broken by this young master. At this moment, a voice of ecstasy suddenly came from the cave. Hearing this voice, Yi Tian's eyes lit up, and he said to the little fox, "Fenrir, you wait here, I'll go and kill them." Yi Tian was worried about the safety of the little fox, and planned to go alone. But as soon as he finished speaking, he saw the little fox blocking him and said, "Yi Tian, I want to go with you. Mom said that a wife must advance and retreat with her husband. Although we haven't got married yet, but Fenrir has already decided on you, so Fenrir can't watch you go there alone. And that person with light golden skin is very strong. You are not his opponent. It will be very dangerous. Fenrir doesn't want to see you in danger. And Fenrir is very strong and can defeat that person with light golden skin." Looking at the little fox blocking him, Yi Tian was very moved. He also wanted to pat his forehead. He almost forgot that this person was a general, with a higher cultivation than him, but he practiced a powerful secret technique to hide his breath, so he only revealed his second-level cultivation. "Well, let's go together." "Yes, Yi Tian, I will help you." Seeing Yi Tian agree, the little fox's voice became cheerful. Swish, swish. So one man and one fox rushed towards the cave together. "Who are you? Looking for death?" Seeing Yi Tian and the little fox rushing over, Sundao and the others were stunned for a moment. I don't know why there are people who are not afraid of death and dare to attack the cave of the general that the third young master has set his sights on. However, they are all martial arts masters, and they quickly came to their senses and took out their broadswords to attack Yi Tian and the little fox. Chapter 51. Fenrir, I'll take care of these ants, don't dirty your hands. Seeing Sun Dao and the other 5 people rushing towards him and Little Fox, Yi Tian stopped in front of Little Fox and said. Immediately, Yi Tian swung his black gold long sword, and the purple thunder blade energy slashed down fiercely. Okay, Yi Tian. Fenrir knew that these people in front of her were not Yi Tian's opponents, so she nodded obediently and then jumped aside lightly. But if the general inside took action, she would definitely stand in front of Yi Tian to help her handsome husband. Hee hee. When Fenner thought of Yi Tian's handsome appearance, she couldn't stop laughing in her heart. Mom, you always say that Dad is the most handsome in the world, but you are wrong. Yi Tian is the most handsome in the world, and he is Fenner's future husband. Thinking that he could say such words to his mother in the future, little Fox looked up and was very happy. At this time, hearing Yi Tian say that they were ants, Sun Dao and others were immediately filled with anger. Captain Sun Dao shouted coldly, "Boy, you are too arrogant. Today I will make you die without a burial place, and I will also skin your pet and use it as a blanket." Splitting Mountain Sword Chi. Kill. Sun Dao immediately waved the broadsword in his hand and injected the vitality in his body into it frantically. Buzz buzz buzz. In an instant, the vitality on his broadsword was dazzling, and the breath was amazing, as if it could really cut off the mountain with one sword. Big Wave Sword Chi. Dividing Gold Sword Chi. Sword Chi 6 Combination Strike. Powerful Crazy Strike. The remaining 4 martial masters also attacked at the same time, using their most powerful attacking martial arts, vowing to teach Yi Tian a lesson. But soon they were all dumbfounded. The thunder-slashing sword Chi was powerful and full of attack power. The attacks of several people were quickly eliminated as soon as they touched, turning into a chaotic flow of vitality and scattered in all directions. And set off a violent airflow, whirring. How is this possible? You are also a level 10 martial master. Why can your attack break the attacks of the 5 of us so easily? It's not scientific at all. Seeing the joint attack of the 5 of them being destroyed by Yi Tian, Sun Dao was completely dumbfounded and almost hysterical. He couldn't believe it was true. If Yi Tian was a strong man at the level of a general, he would have nothing to say. But Yi Tian only showed the cultivation of the level 10 martial master, the same realm as him. But why was his attack vulnerable in front of Yi Tian, and the attacks of his 4 team members were also destroyed by Yi Tian's attack? Such combat power, only those strong men in the realm of martial masters can do it. After understanding this, Sun Dao was even more shocked. Such a young boy can have the cultivation of the level 10 martial master, which is already a genius among geniuses. But his combat power has also entered the realm of martial masters, which is even more extraordinary. What era is it to talk about science? Prepare to die. Yi Tian smiled calmly. He attacked again, swinging the black gold sword continuously, and thunderous sword energy bombarded over. The 5 people realized how powerful Yi Tian was, and stood together to resist Yi Tian's attack. But their fighting power was far inferior to Yi Tian. In just a few moments, they were beheaded one by Yi Tian. Blood stained the air, dead as hell. Be careful, Yi Tian. Just after Yi Tian dealt with Sun Dao and the other 5. At this time, a tall figure of pale golden color suddenly rushed out of the cave. He was so fast that he arrived in front of Yi Tian in an instant. The huge fist was dazzling with golden light, containing amazing vitality fluctuations, and smashed towards Yi Tian fiercely. Boy, you killed my Wu family, go to hell. The owner of this figure was Wang Jinglin. After breaking the last layer of killing array in the cave, Wu Xuanming took away the space ring in the hands of the corpse core. After confirming that there was nothing else in the cave, they walked back and heard the sound of fighting outside. Realizing that someone was planning to attack them, Wang Jinglin immediately urged his martial arts skills and rushed out, just in time to see Yi Tian killing Sun Dao and others. Seeing that Yi Tian was only at the 10th level of Wuzong realm but had the cultivation of a general, Wang Jinglin was surprised. However, he saw that Yi Tian's strength could not threaten him, so he immediately killed Yi Tian and caught Yi Tian off guard. But at this moment, the little fox saw the danger of Yi Tian. With a swish, her pink figure disappeared at the first time, and when she appeared again, she was already in front of Wang Jinglin. A pet is quite protective of its master, then you die first. Looking at the little fox that suddenly appeared in front of him, Wang Jinglin smiled coldly, and then his huge golden fist slammed into Fenner's petite body. Big guy, you can't kill me. Spirit Fox Claw Attack. When Fenner opened her mouth, a rich pink energy surged from her front paws, turning into a claw of energy to quickly meet Wang Jinglin's attack. This attack was extremely powerful, exuding the aura of a level 4 beast general. Boom, accompanied by a violent bang. Wang Jinglin's golden fist was blown up in an instant, and the broken golden energy blocks quickly shot in all directions. Boom boom boom. A large number of trees were blown apart, and many holes were blown up on the mountain and the ground. At the same time, under the power of the little fox's amazing claws, Wang Jinglin, even a level 3 warrior, was knocked out in an instant. His tall body hit the mountain hard, smashing a big hole several feet deep, and the shaking mountain was shaking and roaring. Fortunately, Wang Jinglin practiced the sharp gold king gong. The sharp gold energy he cultivated has extremely strong defensive power. The moment he was knocked away by the little fox's attack, he activated the energy armor to protect his body. Even though he hit the mountain hard, he was not seriously injured with the hard energy armor protecting his body. Wang Jinglin quickly jumped out of the hole and looked at the little fox in disbelief. I didn't expect you to be a level 4 beast general. No wonder you dare to save people under my fist. But you know that you are facing our Wu family. In front of our Wu family, let alone you are a beast general, even the beast king cannot afford to offend. Fox, if you know what's good for you, retreat immediately. I can promise you on behalf of the third young master that I will not hold you responsible. Otherwise, you can wait to be hunted down by our Wu family. Wang Jinglin is tall and mighty, but he is not stubborn. After knowing the strength of the little fox, he did not want to have such an enemy. Otherwise, he might not be able to kill Yi Tian, avenge the dead, and save the face of the Wu family. At this time, another figure rushed out of the cave. It was Wu Xuanming. Wu Xuanming immediately came to Wang Jinglin. When he saw that Wang Jinglin actually showed weakness to a fox, he knew how powerful the little fox was, and immediately stated, "This fox beast strongman, I am the grandson of the current head of the Wu family, the third young master of the Wu family. I can assure you that as long as you retreat now, my Wu family will never cause you any trouble." In Wu Xuanming's view, the Wu family is one of the overlords of this area. Whether it is the people of Anchang City or the strange beasts in the fallen leaf forest and the red maple forest, they must give their Wu family a face. Otherwise, he will have to bear the wrath of his grandfather, a powerful 8th level martial king. His grandfather's cultivation of vitality is special, and even the same level strongman can be easily killed by his grandfather. In terms of combat power, his grandfather is at least a 9th level martial king, and even the ordinary 10th level martial king can't do anything to his grandfather. With such a strong man in the family, the Wu family is also the source of Wu Xuanming's strong confidence and self-confidence. But he was slapped in the face soon. The little fox jumped onto a broken branch, looked at Wu Xuanming with pink eyes, and said seriously, "Fenur will not leave. If anyone dares to hurt Fenur's old, future husband, Fenur will kill him." Fenur's voice was neither high nor low, but full of determination. Although she is innocent by nature, she is a beast after all, and she still has a fierce nature in her bones. She will kill as soon as she opens her mouth. Well, since you insist on making this choice, then you can wait to be hunted down by my Wu family. Seeing that the little fox didn't even sell his face, Wu Xuanming became cold. He stared at the little fox coldly, as if he wanted to remember the little fox's appearance completely in his heart, and torture it severely after catching the little fox in the future, so as to vent his anger. Then Wu Xuanming looked at Yi Tian. Seeing that Yi Tian was much more handsome than him, a strong jealousy flashed in his eyes. This kid is going to die too, and his body must be left without a trace. Wang Jinglin, you go and hold that little fox, I'll go and take that kid down. Wu Xuanming quickly said to Wang Linjing and took out a green snake-headed staff weapon from the space ring. He is the direct descendant of the Wu family. The training was naturally the Wu family's clan-protecting martial arts, the king-level top-grade, Poison King art. Wu Xuanming quickly injected the dark green energy in his body into the snake-head staff weapon in his hand. Buzz buzz buzz. The energy fluctuations on the snake-head staff quickly became stronger, and the light bloomed, and soon turned into a dark green snake head 7 or 8 meters high, biting towards Yi Tian. "Boy, let's see how you die." Wu Xuanming sneered. He felt that this attack would definitely turn Yi Tian into thick water. You must know that he practiced the Poison King art, one of the 4 major martial arts in Anchang City, and used the general-level weapon, the poisonous snake staff, and the king-level top-grade martial arts poisonous python swallowing. Wu Xuanming believed that the power of his attack had reached the level of a level 1 general. Yi Tian, a level 10 martial arts master, could not resist it at all. But Wu Xuanming did not know that Yi Tian's combat power was not on par with his realm. Facing Wu Xuanming's attack, Yi Tian did not take it lightly. He immediately opened up and used thunder to destroy the sword energy. Crackling, the purple and violent lightning blade energy instantly slashed over. With a swish, the dark green snake head was easily chopped off. The violent and overbearing thunder power quickly destroyed the dark green poisonous energy, completely dissolving Wu Xuanming's attack and preventing the poisonous energy from spreading. After killing several hunting teams of the Wu family, Yi Tian naturally found out about Wu Xuanming's methods. Especially the Wu family practiced the poisonous energy method. In addition to the destructiveness of the energy itself, this poisonous energy also comes with a strong poison. Once it spreads, the harm will be great. If you breathe it into your body accidentally, you will be poisoned and your internal organs will be damaged. If you are not careful, you will lose your life. For this reason, Yi Tian did not take it lightly and directly wiped out all of Wu Xuanming's vitality. How could he be poisoned without the poisonous vitality? Thunderbolt destroying blade qi. Are you from the Thunderbolt martial arts school? As the direct descendant of the Wu family, Wu Xuanming is naturally familiar with the martial arts of the Thunderbolt martial arts school. Especially the Thunderbolt destroying blade qi is already famous, he just wants to know it. Worried about the change of delay, Yi Tian did not explain. The lightning flashed under his feet, and the whole person pulled out a long purple light and shadow. Almost in an instant, he came in front of Wu Xuanming and waved the black gold long sword again. Boy, since you are from the Thunderbolt martial arts school, if you kill me, aren't you afraid of causing a war between the two families? At that time, the Thunderbolt martial arts school can't protect you, and you will definitely die. But as long as you are willing to let me go, I can forgive the past. I know you want the treasures in the general's cave, and I can give them to you. Seeing Yi Tian decisively attacking him, he was no match for Yi Tian. At this moment, Wu Xuanming admitted that he was a little panicked. Before, he was still calm because he thought that he was a level 10 martial arts master, practicing the king level top grade skills, and was a member of the Wu family. Yi Tian could not be his opponent at all. Even if Yi Tian was his opponent, he would be afraid of his identity and dare not do anything to him. But now seeing Yi Tian's undisguised murderous intent towards him, Wu Xuanming knew that he was wrong. Absolutely wrong. This boy really dared to kill him. After killing you, the treasures on you will also be mine. Stupid. Yi Tian sneered and then showed no mercy. He quickly swung the black gold longsword, and the purple sword energy fell one after another, dissolving all of Wu Xuanming's desperate counterattacks. Not long after, Yi Tian found an opportunity and chopped off Wu Xuanming's head with one knife. Third young master. Boy, you killed the third young master, you're dead. You're dead. Wang Jinglin, who was fighting with the little fox on the other side, noticed Wu Xuanming, who was beheaded by Yi Tian, and he was stunned. He was a member of the Wu family's military general's pavilion, so he naturally knew the strength of the Wu family and the importance the Wu family attached to their direct descendants. Wang Jinglin never thought that this unknown boy who came out of nowhere would kill Wu Xuanming, even though he knew that Wu Xuanming was a direct descendant of the Wu family. He was so bold. I don't know if I will die, but you will die. After killing Wu Xuanming, Yi Tian did not search him immediately. He was worried about the safety of the little fox, so he rushed to Wang Jinglin as soon as possible. Boy, I am not the opponent of this fox, can't I deal with you? Go to hell. Seeing Yi Tian suddenly rushing towards him, Wang Jinglin, who had been suppressed by the little fox, was immediately angry. Buzz buzz buzz. He was covered in golden light, like a little golden man. At the same time, Wang Jinglin urged the extremely strong vitality in his body, transformed it into a powerful sword energy, and fiercely slashed at Yi Tian. With me here, you can't hurt Yi Tian. Seeing Wang Jinglin shift his target, the little fox was worried about Yi Tian's safety. She immediately activated her bloodline talent to teleport over, and a golden claw weapon appeared in her hand without knowing when. It was filled with pink energy, and it quickly attacked Wang Jinglin. Seeing the little fox blocking him again, Yi Tian felt warm in his heart. This girl is so nice, I must spoil her in the future. Immediately, Yi Tian pushed the thunder step to the extreme, quickly came to the side of Wang Jinglin, and used the thunder-destroying blade qi. One fox and one man, one in front and one on the left. Both of them had extremely powerful attack power, and in an instant, Wang Jinglin fell into a desperate situation. Fortunately, Wang Jinglin practiced the Rujin Qingdong, which had extremely strong defensive power. Even though he was attacked by Yi Tian and the little fox, he was not killed quickly. It was just that his flesh was torn open with long and deep wounds, revealing white bones and blood. Realizing that he was no match for Yi Tian and the little fox, Wang Jinglin had the idea of escaping. He quickly urged his body movement martial arts, blocked Yi Tian's attack with one blow, and then rushed quickly to the distant mountains and forests. Wang Jinglin did not forget to make a harsh statement when he escaped. "Boy, dead fox, wait for us Wu family to hunt you down, then I will personally send you to hell and avenge today's shame. You won't stand a chance." Seeing this, Yi Tian sneered. He and the little fox were both very fast, especially the little fox could teleport. So Wang Jinglin didn't run far before he was hit by the little fox that suddenly appeared in front of him. Yi Tian was already prepared, and the black gold long sword covered with surging thunder energy was swung over very quickly, directly cutting off most of Wang Jinglin's body. Then Yi Tian rushed to Wang Jinglin and easily cut off his head. Officially announced that this level 3 general was dead. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this time, there was a sound of many people running quickly in the distant mountains and forests. Realizing that many people were rushing here, Yi Tian quickly said, "Fenrir, someone is coming, let's quickly clean up the battlefield, and then you come to my side and leave." The surrounding field of vision was wide, and even if Yi Tian was fast, he could easily be discovered by the people rushing over. Fortunately, he had the holy ring of teleportation. Of course, even without the holy ring of teleportation, Yi Tian could also use Fenrir's teleportation talent to leave. He would not be discovered by the people rushing over. "Okay." Fenrir nodded, and then quickly rushed to the bodies of Sun Dao and the other four, taking away their space bags and weapons that fell on the ground. Yi Tian also quickly took away the space bags and weapons from Wang Jinglin and Wu Xuanming. At this time, Fenrir had come to his side. She put her front paws on Yi Tian, and before Yi Tian activated the teleportation ability of the Holy Ring of Teleportation, Fenrir activated the teleportation ability. Swish! A layer of ripples appeared in the space. The figures of Yi Tian and the little fox disappeared instantly. Just after the two disappeared for a moment, many people rushed out of the woods. Many of these people were from the Wu family's hunting team, and there were also many people who hunted strange beasts in the depths of the deciduous forest. When they heard the noise, the former because of their identities, the latter out of curiosity, they all rushed over quickly. When they saw the bodies of Wu Xuanming and the others, they all gasped. The third young master of the Wu family was beheaded. Who is so brave to kill him? Ancheng City is going to have a big earthquake. Wang Jinglin is a level 3 warrior, and he is practicing a king-level technique. Who can leave so many scars on him? Who can kill him in such a short time? A group of people were talking about it. The people of the Wu family hunting team were even more pale, and their timid bodies were trembling. They were the ones who arranged the blockade by Wu Xuanming. Now that Wu Xuanming is dead, it is difficult for them to get rid of the responsibility. The captain of a second-class team immediately said, "Immediately seal the bodies of the third young master and his men and take them back to see the head of the family." He then said, "Notify the people at the gathering place outside the forest and the city gate to record all the people who left the forest and entered Ancheng." At this time, outskirts of the fallen leaf forest, Yi Tian and the little fox found a cave and crawled into it. After sealing the cave entrance with stones, Yi Tian looked at the spoils of this battle excitedly. 7 space bags, 3 space rings. 5 of the 7 spaces were obtained from Sun Dao and the other 5, and the other 2 were obtained from Wang Jinglin and Wu Xuanming. 2 of the 3 space rings were obtained from Wu Xuanming, including the silver space ring worn on the finger of the cave owner. The other one was obtained from Wang Jinglin. The little fox was also very excited when he saw the spoils all over the ground, and hurriedly said, "Yi Tian, open these space bags and space rings and see what you have gained." Seeing that Fenrir was also very interested and expectant, Yi Tian took out a few space bags and placed them in front of the little fox and said with a smile, "Fenrir, we killed people together, and we should count the spoils together." "Really?" The little fox blinked her eyes with some expectation. "Of course it's true." Yi Tian was amused by her cautious look and scratched her nose lightly in annoyance. The little fox lowered her head shyly, and then became excited. Fenrir likes to count the spoils the most. Before, there were humans who wanted to catch Fenrir, but they were all killed by Fenrir. Fenrir took their space bags and got a lot of good things, hee. Thinking of the previous things, the little fox had a happy smile on his face. Yi Tian didn't expect that Fenrir, the little fox, would use the best holy weapon to deal with him, and he was a little surprised that she even liked the spoils of those people she killed. Silly girl, do you know the value of the top-grade holy weapon you gave me? However, seeing that Fenrir liked it, Yi Tian naturally wanted to satisfy her, and gave her Wang Jinglan's space ring and asked her to unbox it. Then Yi Tian opened Wu Xuanming's space ring. 100 cubic meters, not big but not small, the value is not low. There are a lot of things in the ring. There are more than 100 low-grade yuanxi alone, and 12 medium-grade yuanxi. You should know that one medium-grade yuanxi can be exchanged for 10 low-grade yuanxi. He can recharge more than 20,000 wealth points with yuanxi alone. There are also many elixirs, which are basically high-grade. Yi Tian also saw a general grade 1 in a black bottle with erosion poison pill written on it. Obviously, this is not a good pill. Even a strong general will die after taking it. I don't know what Wu Xuanming wants to do with this kind of pill in his hand. 2 weapons. One is a snake-headed staff, and the other is a dark green whip. Both are general grade items and are of high value. 2 books and 1 photo album. One is Wu Xuanming's own insights from practicing the Poison King technique. The other is other people's insights from practicing the Poison King technique. The photo album is very thick, and the photos inside are all naked women, posed in various poses, with scars from various beatings on their bodies, and each photo shows Wu Xuanming's ferocious and satisfied smile. I didn't expect Wu Xuanming to be so vicious. It's not unfair to kill him. After watching hundreds of nude photos of women who were subjected to various kinds of humiliation, Yi Tian was glad that he killed Wu Xuanming, the beast. Otherwise, I don't know how many women this cruel guy will hurt in the future. It's really not a pity to die. In addition to these, Wu Xuanming's space bag also had some luxurious clothes and exquisite and high-end food. Yi Tian didn't need clothes, books, photo albums, etc., so he burned them all. Yi Tian put all the other things into the holy ring of transfer, and then he picked up the space ring of the corpse owner, 300 cubic meters. The internal space is so large. After seeing the size of the space inside the space ring of the corpse owner, Yi Tian was stunned. The price of this level of space ring is comparable to 3 generals, which is of extraordinary value. In fact, for many practitioners, even if they are very rich, most of the space equipment they use will adopt the space ring plus space bag mix and match method. The internal space of the space ring is stable and can be used to store important things. The space inside the space bag is easily damaged from the outside, and can be used to hold some unimportant and large items, such as exotic beast materials and exotic beast corpses. So few people will spend a lot of money to buy a space ring that is too much higher than their own realm level. However, the rich and martial arts generation is an exception, such as Fenrir. I wonder how many good things this general has on him. Seeing that the space ring has such a large space inside, Yi Tian became very interested in the wealth of the owner of the corpse. Soon, he took out all the things in the space ring. 300 low-grade yuanxi, 20 medium-grade yuanxi. More than 10 4th-level beast cores, 3 general-level beast cores. 7 or 8 weapons. Most of them are high-level. 2 are general-level. Needless to say, the high-level weapons are blood-red spears and golden shields. The weapons are cold and tough, and you can tell at a glance that they are all good things. Many detoxification pills, poison avoidance pills, vitality pills and other pills. But there is no healing pill. Most of these elixirs are of high grade, and a few are of general grade. 7 or 8 books, involving miscellaneous notes, insights, travel notes, etc. 2 jade plates. One is green, and the other is purple. The former has no special features except that it is hard and heavy. But the purple jade plate shocked Yi Tian. A jade plate of cultivation technique. It is actually a jade plate of cultivation technique. Yi Tian was shocked. Generally, the cultivation techniques of the king grade and below are recorded in books. Only the cultivation techniques that reach the emperor grade and above are recorded in the jade plates of cultivation technique. In addition to the difficulty of making jade plates of cultivation technique and the high value, it is because the cultivation techniques that reach the emperor grade and above involve intention, and ordinary books cannot record intention at all. So it can only be recorded in special jade plates. This kind of jade plate is called a jade plate of cultivation technique. I didn't expect there would be an unexpected surprise. I can actually obtain a cultivation technique that is at least of the emperor grade. Could it be that the owner of the corpse is also a martial artist? Never mind, let's see what kind of skills it is first. But looking at the color of this skill jade token, it is very likely to be a thunder attributed skill suitable for me to practice. Thinking of this, Yi Tian happily and expectantly put the purple jade token on his forehead. Then he concentrated his mind inside. In an instant, Yi Tian found himself in a purple space. This purple space was not big, and in the center there was a purple thunder that was 10 feet high and wide, emitting a terrifying and amazing aura. But if you look closely, you will find that this purple thunder is composed of many mysterious energy characters that emit purple lightning. It quietly floats in the air, emitting brilliant purple light. But there is no movement, as if it is asleep. Is this the meaning of this technique? Seeing this thunder energy ball composed of technique characters, Yi Tian immediately understood, and then his mind spread over, carefully comprehending this purple thunder. At the moment he comprehended, rumble, the thunder of the text seemed to come alive, stimulating amazing thunder and lightning, and roaring continuously. Yi Tian only felt his mind shaken and in great pain, and wanted to withdraw immediately. But Yi Tian knew that this was a test of him by this technique. Once he withdrew from this space now, it would mean that he had failed in learning. It doesn't mean that he can't learn this technique anymore, but the difficulty will be much higher, and it will also consume the meaning in the technique jade card. The meaning of the technique in the technique jade card is not eternal. It will be consumed once you comprehend it. Once it is consumed, the technique will be gone. Unless the strong person who practices this technique restores the meaning in it. Because the meaning will be consumed a lot after each comprehension, the sooner you comprehend it, the easier it will be. Knowing that he can't comprehend this technique by himself, Yi Tian no longer hesitates to recharge all the Yuanxi and beast cores in front of him and in the space ring, and let the system take action. The system is his own. Let the system take action equals take action yourself. No problem. Soon, Yi Tian got a lot of wealth points, and the voice of the system also sounded in his mind. Ding, consume 30,000 wealth points, and practice the Silent Thunder Honored skill to the entry level. Ding, consume 70,000 wealth points, and practice the Silent Thunder Honored skill to the small success. Ding, the host's wealth value is not enough and cannot be further improved. As the system voice fell, a large amount of information flow and many profound insights appeared in Yi Tian's mind. Yi Tian also had a deep understanding and mastery of this technique. Silence Thunder Honored Technique, the strongest honored technique. It can cultivate the Silence Thunder energy. Once the Silence Thunder energy comes out, it can silence everything and has stronger violence, domineering and destructive power than ordinary thunder energy. It turned out to be a strongest honored technique. I didn't expect my luck to be so good. After learning the information about the technique, Yi Tian still couldn't believe it. He thought that the technique in the jade card was good enough to reach the emperor level, but he didn't expect it to be far beyond his expectations. In front of the strongest honored technique, the four major techniques of Ancheng City are just younger brothers. It's a pity that the wealth value required to practice this technique is too much. I only spent 100,000 wealth points to master the small achievement. I don't know how much wealth value it will take to practice to the great success, perfection, or even the mysterious state of mind above perfection. Thinking of this, Yi Tian realized that he was still too poor. But Yi Tian smiled again. Fortunately, I gained a lot during this trip to the Fallen Leaf Mountains. I can earn a lot of wealth by selling these things. At this time, Yi Tian's mind was inward and entered his dantian. He found that the vitality in his dantian became more pure and domineering, and contained a strong breath of annihilation. Yi Tian knew that his current thunder energy was very different from the thunder energy cultivated by the Thunder King art. The thunder energy of annihilation was purer than the thunder energy. If the purity of the thunder energy before was 1, then the purity of the thunder energy of annihilation was 10. The higher the purity of the energy, the better the nourishment and tempering effect on the body, the stronger the power, and the easier it was to mobilize. In addition, the thunder energy of annihilation contained the meaning of annihilation. Once this meaning erupted, the power of the energy would be greatly increased. If it was combined with martial arts, it could also greatly enhance the power of martial arts. Feeling the pure and powerful thunder energy of annihilation in the body, Yi Tian thought of the time he spent to kill Wu Xuanming of the same realm before. But Yi Tian believed that with his current strength, if he faced Wu Xuanming again, he could kill him instantly. Even Wang Jinglin would not be his opponent. This is the benefit of practicing a powerful technique. It is worth mentioning that there are 3 supreme-grade martial arts in this technique. When I practice it, I believe that my combat power at the same level can be greatly improved. These 3 supreme-grade martial arts are Silence Thunder Slash, Silence Thunder Fist, and Thunder Escape. The first 2 are powerful attacking martial arts, and the latter is a powerful body movement martial arts. Martial arts are already very powerful when they reach the king level, and the power of martial arts that reach the supreme level or the supreme level is even more powerful. It's a pity that there is no wealth value, otherwise I will practice these 3 martial arts to perfection, or even to the level of artistic conception. Shaking his head, Yi Tian continued to count the items in the space ring of the cave owner. In addition to these things, there is also a brown animal skin map. There are many mountains, lakes, forests and other terrains that Yi Tian can't name on it. Unfortunately, this animal skin map is incomplete. The whole map is 1 meter by half a meter when it is spread out. There are 3 fist-sized holes on it, and many places are worn out, so it is not clear what the terrain is. The most terrible thing is that there is a hole in the center of the map, which seems to be the most important position in this map. These holes also greatly reduce the value of this map. However, Yi Tian still saw that this should be a map of a cave of a strong man. I wonder if this green jade plate has anything to do with this map. But since the owner of the cave room carried this green jade plate with him when he was alive, it must be useful. Thinking of this, Yi Tian carefully counted all the things in the space ring. He also carefully read all the books that seemed useless to him before. Unexpectedly, Yi Tian really found a clue. On the paper behind a miscellaneous note, there was a long paragraph. On May 1, 3304, my name is Kang Yifei, a direct descendant of the Kang family in Nanming City. I ran around the country to find a cave of a strong man, but I didn't expect to be attacked by a villain on the way, which shattered my dantian and collapsed my body, and I was seriously injured here. Not only can I not continue to search for treasure, but my life is also in danger. If I can recover, I will lead my Kang family to wipe out the entire clan of the criminals who attacked me. By then, I will not be stupid enough to act alone, but will rely on the power of my family to find this cave that is suspected to be left behind by the great emperor after his death. On May 4, 3304, I have eaten all the healing pills, but it still doesn't help. My injuries cannot be recovered, the vitality in my body is constantly dissipating, and my cultivation is constantly declining. But I dare not go out. Those hateful guys have been looking for me around. I didn't expect that I, Kang Yifei, would die here. The ancestor said that I have the appearance of a martial arts master. Especially, I also got the strongest honorable skill, Silence Thunder Honored Skill. I haven't practiced it yet, but I have fallen to this point. Why is my life so miserable? My destined person, no matter who you are, it is your good fortune if you can get these things I left behind. I just hope you can use my things to help me kill these villains who attacked me and wipe out their entire clan. If you are not sure of killing those people, you can also take my last words to the Kang family to send me a message, and you can also get a lot of benefits from my Kang family. On May 6, 3304, my cultivation has been reduced to the warrior realm, and my injuries are difficult to recover. I am going to die. Parents, ancestors, I really don't want to die. There are 5 hand-painted portraits behind the book, 3 men and 2 women. The 3 men are middle-aged, looking about 30 years old, with cultivation levels marked on them. 2 level 8 generals and 1 level 7 general. The 2 women are also in their early 30s, 1 level 6 general and 1 level 7 general. After reading the hand-painted picture, Yi Tian quickly memorized the appearance of the 5 people. However, Yi Tian did not intend to kill these 5 people. Not only is he not the opponent of these 5 people now, he also does not know the whereabouts of these 5 people. Moreover, the last words are only one-sided words of Kang Yifei. Who knows what is going on? Besides, it is 3324 now. 20 years have passed. Who knows what level of strength these people have reached? So Yi Tian has no idea of revenge for Kang Yifei at all. Of course, if he really meets these 5 people in the future. If these 5 people are not good people, he does not mind helping Kang Yifei. As for sending a letter to the Kang family in Nanming City, Yi Tian shook his head directly. Nanming City is more than 3,000 kilometers away from Ancheng City. The Kang family is also a powerful family with martial arts. Who knows if they know that Kang Yifei has the Silent Thunder honored merit? Will they covet it after knowing it? Will it be disadvantageous to him? Yi Tian will not do such an uncertain thing. After putting all these things into the transfer ring, Yi Tian looked at the little fox. At this time, Fanner had almost finished counting the items in Wang Jinglin's space ring and space bag. She also carefully put them together in different categories. When Fanner saw Yi Tian, she said to Yi Tian happily, "Yi Tian, I have counted them all. They are all here. There are 354 low-grade yuanxi, 23 medium-grade yuanxi, 125 second and third level beast cores, 21 fourth level beast cores, and 1 general level beast core. 10 high-level weapons, 1 general level weapon. 3 medium and high-level exercises, 5 medium and high-level martial arts, but unfortunately none of them are thunder attributed, so they are not suitable for you. More than 300 various healing pills, detoxification pills, poison avoidance pills, and muscle growing pills, including 3 general level pills, namely the detoxification pill, poison avoidance pill, and muscle growing pill of the general level. The rest is a pile of clothes, tents, tables and chairs, food seasonings. By the way, Yi Tian, there are a lot of delicious things in a person's space bag. Look, these are them. Isn't it a lot?" The little fox finished speaking, his eyes fixed on the food piled 4 or 5 meters high. Each of these foods was packed in an exquisite wooden box, exuding an alluring aroma and heat. Yi Tian smiled and said lovingly, "If you like, I'll give you all these foods." "Really, thank you, Yi Tian, you are so kind." Hearing this, the little fox's pink eyes sparkled and she became excited immediately. She then stretched out her hand, ready to put all the delicacies into her space ring and eat them to her heart's content. But when the little fox was about to do so, she suddenly retracted her hand. She turned to Yi Tian and shook her head and said, "Yi Tian, no, I don't want to enjoy these delicacies alone. I want to eat them with you. I think I will be happier eating these delicacies with you." Hearing the innocent words of the girl, Yi Tian felt warm in his heart, and smiled and rubbed the little fox's head and said, "Silly girl, you can put them all away and we can eat them together when the time comes." The little fox squinted his eyes while being rubbed by Yi Tian, with an expression of enjoyment on his face. Then she also felt that Yi Tian was right, and nodded to Yi Tian heavily, saying, "Yi Tian, you are right, I will listen to you, I will put these delicacies away first, and we will eat them together when we are hungry, hee hee." After that, the little fox happily began to pack up the delicacies, in a very good mood. Yi Tian recharged all the yuanxi and beast cores. He obtained more than 153,000 points of wealth. Then Yi Tian looked at a pile of pills. He thought about it, and finally did not let the system recharge these pills. The energy contained in the pills can naturally allow the system to recharge into wealth. However, the actual price of the pills is much higher than simply exchanging them for wealth. Yi Tian is not an impatient person, so he did not let the system recharge these pills now. He planned to take these pills back to the city and sell them for yuan coins before recharging. System, practice the Silent Thunder honored skill. After scanning the attribute panel, he found that the plus sign appeared after Silent Thunder honored skill, and Yi Tian said immediately, "Ding, 130,000 points of wealth are consumed, and the Silent Thunder Supreme Art is cultivated to the great success." The speed of the art cultivation has been raised to a higher level, and Yi Tian saw that the energy in his dantian has become more pure and condensed. If Yi Tian's energy was oil when he practiced the Thunder King art before, then when he practiced the Silent Thunder Supreme art and cultivated it to the small success, his energy was water. After practicing to the great success, his energy was much heavier than water, and the degree of solidity was close to the level of gel. At the same time, the violence, tyranny, destructive power and silencing breath of the Silent Thunder energy were raised to a higher level, becoming more terrifying. Yi Tian casually pointed at the rock wall in front of him. Bang! In an instant, a stream of Silent Thunder energy turned into an energy beam and shot into the rock wall, just like using a red-hot iron finger to point at the foam. In an instant, a long hole several tens of meters deep was made on the hard rock wall. What a strong penetrating power! Even the warrior's chi armor can't resist the penetrating power of this annihilation thunder chi, right? A martial artist can turn his chi into gauze clothes, a martial master can turn his chi into armor, and a warrior can turn his chi into armor. If the chi gauze clothes are a thin piece of cardboard, then the chi armor is an aluminum plate. The Yuan chi armor is a hard steel plate with extremely strong defense. A general once did an experiment. A 30,000 kilogram boulder was dropped from hundreds of meters high. As a result, the boulder with amazing kinetic energy did not even cause a crack in the general's Yuan chi armor. It can be said that as long as the generals are not in the center of a small-yield nuclear bomb explosion, they will not be killed. This shows how terrifying the defense is. But now Yi Tian feels that the annihilation power of his annihilation thunder energy is even more terrifying and amazing. Even the Yuan chi armor of the powerful generals is probably like cardboard in front of him. However, Yi Tian also understands that if those generals who have also practiced the same Zun level skills, or even stronger level skills, their Yuan chi armor will have even more terrifying defense. His annihilation thunder energy will not be easily broken, or even impossible to break. Yi Tian, how did your Yuan chi change? At this time, the little fox noticed the fluctuation of the Yuan chi in Yi Tian's hand, and walked over with a puzzled look and asked. Yi Tian did not hide the secret from the little fox and explained. I found a so-called strongest noble level technique in the space ring of the cave master, Silence Thunder Supreme technique, and then I practiced it. I didn't expect that the penetrating power of the Silent Thunder chi I practiced would be so amazing. The little fox looked at the deep hole made by Yi Tian's energy on the rock wall and nodded. Yi Tian, the penetration power of the technique you practice is really powerful, but it's just a noble level 1. As he spoke, the little fox became disappointed and said, Yi Tian, I'm sorry, Fenrir doesn't have any other powerful techniques except the ones I practiced. Otherwise, with your comprehension, Yi Tian, you can easily practice the emperor level techniques, but it's a pity that Fenrir's techniques are not suitable for you. Mom and Dad also said that Fenrir's techniques cannot be passed on to others. I'm sorry, Fenrir couldn't help you. Seeing that Yi Tian practiced the so-called strongest noble level technique in such a short time, Fenrir knew that Yi Tian's comprehension was extremely strong, and it could even be described as terrifying. Grandma, Dad and Mom all said that she had extraordinary talent and amazing comprehension, and she would become a beast emperor in the future, and even have the hope of becoming a great emperor. But after seeing Yi Tian practice the so-called strongest noble level technique so quickly, Fenrir felt that her talent was still far behind Yi Tian. When she thought that her future husband was such a genius with amazing talent, but she didn't have any other emperor level techniques suitable for Yi Tian to practice, Fenrir felt very uncomfortable. She knew that the more talented a person was, the sooner he would practice the more powerful techniques, otherwise it would affect his future height. Even if Yi Tian switched to other higher level techniques in the future. Even if he switched to a saint level technique or an emperor level technique with the same attribute, the difficulty of switching would become greater and greater. Seeing the little fox's depressed and self-blaming look, Yi Tian seemed to have a feeling and guessed what the little fox was thinking. A warm current flowed through his heart, but he felt very uncomfortable when he saw Fenrir's sad look. Yi Tian squatted down, rubbed Fenrir's little head and said softly with a smile. Silly girl, since your future husband can practice this so-called strongest Zun level technique so quickly, he can also practice more powerful techniques easily in the future, so you don't have to worry about me. Hearing Yi Tian's confident words, the little fox raised her head, and looked at Yi Tian seriously with pink eyes, but she was still a little hesitant. She asked, Yi Tian, is it true? You didn't lie to Fenrir. Fenrir has seen the results of some strong people who turned to practice saint-level or even emperor-level techniques, and they were not as simple as Yi Tian said. Seeing Fenrir's worried look, Yi Tian nodded solemnly, and then smiled and said, Fenrir, don't worry, I would lie to anyone, but I would never lie to my lovely and beautiful wife Fenrir. Yi Tian, you are so mean. Who is your wife? We haven't even gotten married yet. Hearing Yi Tian's cheesy words, Fenrir shyly lowered her head and dared not look at Yi Tian. Her voice became lower and lower, and Yi Tian could hear her heart beating so fast. However, seeing Yi Tian so confident, Fenrir was relieved, but she still swore in her heart. Yi, old husband, don't worry. When we get home, Fenrir will find a way to find you a thunder-attributed imperial-level technique to practice. Then we will become emperors together, stay together for life, and never separate, hee. Yi Tian didn't know what Fenrir was thinking. Otherwise, he would definitely hold this simple girl in his arms and love her well. So sensible and considerate. Then, after Yi Tian put all the organized items into the space ring, he left here with the little fox. Ancheng South City, Wu family mansion. In the magnificent hall. Father, the people of Thunder Martial Arts School are really too much. Tian actually killed my Shuiner. You should order me to take people to find Yao Jinlei and ask him if he wants to go to war with our Wu family. Looking at the cold body of his favorite son lying on the ground, Wu Zeming's eyes were bloodshot and he was furious. His aura of level 2 Martial King instantly spread all around, crushing the tables and chairs and cracking the ground. Several hunting teams and other people from the Wu family who were here at this time were heavy and pale. Okay, if Shuiner was really killed by the people of Thunder Martial Arts School, I will go to Yao Jinlei to ask clearly. You put away your aura and see what the meeting hall has become. Sitting at the top, Wu Yuanai, the current head of the Wu family, who has the cultivation of level 8 Martial King, had no expression of joy or anger on his face. But no one knew that he had already set off a huge wave in his heart. It was much more terrible than the anger shown by Wu Zeming. Wu Xuanming has been sensible and cute since he was a child. Although his cultivation and potential are not the strongest among his many grandchildren, he is the grandchild who can please him the most. He is also his favorite and most beloved grandchild. For this reason, he has expressed his love for Wu Xuanming in public many times, just because he is afraid that someone will harm his beloved grandchild. But Wu Yuanai did not expect that his grandson was still killed. It is suspected that it was done by the people of Thunder Martial Arts School. He extracted 2 kinds of energy that did not belong to their grandson and Wang Jinglin. There is only one kind of energy that does not belong to his grandson. He is also very familiar with this kind of energy, which can only be cultivated by the Thunder King Gong of Thunder Martial Arts School. So it is not difficult for him to see that the murderer who killed his grandson is most likely someone from Thunder Martial Arts School. The cultivation is about the level of 10th level martial arts master. But it can only be said that there is a great possibility. In order to recruit geniuses, Thunder Martial Arts School built the Genius Pavilion and gave the Thunder King Gong to these geniuses to practice. But these geniuses will not stay in Thunder Martial Arts School forever. Many of them will leave on their own initiative after meeting the conditions for leaving. So it can only be said that the person who killed his grandson might be someone from the Thunder Martial Arts School. Although Yao Jinlei's realm is the same as his own, he cultivates the thunder chi that is extremely domineering and has a strong restraint on his own poisonous chi. Wu Yuanai knows that he is not as good as Yao Jinlei in terms of combat power. So he will not take the initiative to provoke the other party unless it is necessary. But he must also avenge his grandson. The other person's cultivation is probably at the level of a general, and his chi is very pure and condensed. The level of the technique she cultivates is probably very high, so high that it is not even found in Ancheng City. Could it be an outsider? This made Wu Yuanai uncertain and worried. He looked at a middle-aged steward standing aside with his head down and said, Before Zhan Ming got into trouble, he asked you to collect information about all the people who entered and left the Fallen Leaf Forest. Are there people from the Thunder Martial Arts School among them? And practitioners with the cultivation of generals? The middle-aged steward hurriedly took out a list and presented it respectfully with both hands. Report to the master, There are more than 1,300 warriors who entered the Fallen Leaf Forest during this period. There are 4 people in the Thunder Martial Arts School, 3 of whom are martial artists. They are all ordinary members of the Thunder Martial Arts School and are not qualified to practice the Thunder King art. The other one is a disciple of the Genius Pavilion, named Yi Tian, with a level 3 martial artist cultivation. When he joined the Genius Pavilion of the Thunder Martial Arts School, he made quite a stir. It is said that within half an hour, he had practiced the Thunder King art, Thunder Slashing Sword Technique, and Thunder Brutal Step. Later, he was challenged by a genius with a level 6 martial artist cultivation in the Thunder Martial Arts School. As a result, he defeated the genius with one sword and became famous in one battle. Later, he was even received by Yao Jinlei and Yao Tijun. There are a total of 3 powerful generals who entered the Fallen Leaf Forest. However, none of them practiced the same vitality attribute as the vitality attribute in Wang Jinglin's wound, not even similar ones. The middle-aged steward quickly told the relevant information he had collected. When Wu Yuan'ai heard the middle-aged steward say that Yi Tian practiced the Thunder King art plus 2 king level top-grade martial arts in just half an hour, his eyelids jumped wildly. His tone became heavy, and he stared at the middle-aged steward motionlessly and asked, "Are you sure that the man named Yi Tian really cultivated the king level top-grade skills and martial arts in half an hour? You are a level 7 martial general, so you must know what this means." While Wu Yuan'ai was asking, an amazing martial king aura radiated from him. In an instant, the entire hall sank more than 1 meter. This was when he restrained himself a lot, otherwise the ground would sink more than 10 meters. The aura of a level 8 martial king can easily crush a martial general, which is extremely powerful. The middle-aged steward is just a level 7 martial general. Under the pressure of this amazing aura, the middle-aged steward's body trembled violently. A lot of soybean-sized sweat beads overflowed from his forehead, and his face turned pale in an instant. He hurriedly said, "Master, this information is summarized by my subordinates after asking several trustworthy hidden players in the Thunder Martial Arts Hall, and there is absolutely no exaggeration. And I have been collecting intelligence for so many years and know the limits. I will never dare to report to you if it is not the information I have confirmed." In fact, the middle-aged manager was also shocked when he learned about Yi Tian's performance in the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. He remembered that it took Yao Ruowu an hour and a half to practice the Thunder King art, which was already the posture of a martial arts master. This young man named Yi Tian was able to successfully practice the Thunder King art in half an hour, and also had 2 king-level top-grade martial arts, which shows how terrifying his comprehension talent is. He has just reached adulthood, but his cultivation is a level 3 martial artist, which shows that his cultivation talent is not bad. In summary, he knows that the qualifications of this young man named Yi Tian are at least at the level of a martial saint, and even have the posture of a martial emperor. As for the higher qualification of the great emperor, he didn't dare to think about it at all. The great emperor is the ceiling, whether among humans or among strange beasts. How could such a qualification be achieved so easily? And it came from a small place like their Ancheng city. In fact, Wu Yuan'ai knew that the middle-aged manager would not deceive him with false information, so there was no need to keep it to himself. If he really did so, it would be no different from seeking death. It's just that this news is too shocking. As long as it is confirmed to be true, then the potential of this young man named Yi Tian is absolutely amazing. Once such a proud child of heaven is cultivated by the people of the Thunder Martial Arts School, will Ancheng City still be ruled by the Thunder Martial Arts School in the future? As for whether his grandson was killed by this young man named Yi Tian, Wu Yuan'ai shook his head and denied it directly. He is just a level 3 martial artist. Even if he is a genius, he can't go so many levels to kill my grandson. My Shuaner is a level 10 martial master at the very least, and has the strength to deal with ordinary level 1 generals. How could this Yi Tian go so many realms to kill my Shuaner? If this boy named Yi Tian can really do this, he can't be stopped by the posture of a martial emperor, let alone a great emperor. Wu Yuan'ai asked everyone else to leave, leaving Wu Zeming and the middle-aged steward alone. He said to the middle-aged steward, "Chen Shan, you immediately send someone to bring the boy named Yi Tian here. Remember to act secretly, don't be discovered by the people of Thunder Martial Arts School." Wu Yuan'ai was naturally very tempted by such a proud child of heaven. If I can enslave this kid named Yi Tian for my Wu family will definitely go up a few levels in the future. Hee. If this kid doesn't know what's good for him, I don't mind strangling this boy with the posture of a martial emperor in the cradle. There is not much difference between a genius who has not grown up and an ordinary person. It's the head of the family. The middle-aged steward took the task and left. As for how to bring him back, he naturally knew. Father, you asked Chen Shan to bring that Yi Tian back. Do you want to use soul means to enslave that kid for my Wu family to use? Hearing what Wu Yuanai said to Chen Shan, Wu Zeming guessed his father's plan. Wu Yuanai did not hide it from his son. He nodded and said, yes, it just so happens that the Nyan technique I bought in Maple Leaf City has arrived. You can try the effect. After that, he said to Wu Zeming, the dead cannot be resurrected, you don't have to be too sad. We can only guess that it was the people from the Thunder Martial Arts School who killed Schuener, but without direct evidence, we can't easily go to them to settle accounts. You should investigate secretly first and issue a reward to the public. If you really confirm that it was done by the people from the Thunder Martial Arts School, your father will not let Schuener die in vain. Yes, father. Seeing his father say this, Wu Zeming was very angry but had no other choice but to do it. Not long after, the reward mission was issued by the Wu family, and soon caused a great sensation in Ancheng City. Do you know that Wu Xuanming, the third young master of the Wu family, was killed in Lui Mountain Forest? The Wu family was shocked and issued a huge reward. I heard that if you can provide clues about the murderer, you can get a high-level weapon. If you provide the murderer's appearance, you can get a general's weapon, a general-level technique, and a general-level martial arts. If you can capture the murderer alive, you can get a king-level technique, a king-level martial arts, and 500 low-grade yuanxi as a reward. My dear, you are worthy of being the most beloved grandson of the head of the Wu family. This reward is too generous. If only I could get these rewards, I would take off right away. Why are you, a warrior, joining in the fun? Do you know the strength of the murderer? I heard that there were 2 murderers. One killed Wu Xuanming alone. He was probably a level 10 martial master. The other should be a martial general. He and the murderer who killed Wu Xuanming teamed up to kill Wang Jinglin, who was a level 3 martial general. No way, the level 3 martial generals were all killed. The strength of the 2 murderers is too strong, right? I still want to try my luck in the Fallen Leaf Forest. After hearing what you said, I'd better go home and continue to lie down. Which great man did what I, Zhang San, wanted to do but couldn't do, and killed that Wu Xuanming to avenge my poor daughter? Brother Zhang, be careful with your words. If the people of the Wu family hear you, your life will be in danger. I don't care, I'm going to kowtow to these 2 masters. Has the Wu family already taken action? But they probably don't know that it was me and Fenner who did it. Not long after returning to Ancheng with the little fox, Yi Tian heard people on the street discussing this matter. But he was very calm. He and the little fox killed Wu Xuanming and Wang Jinglin without being discovered by anyone. Even if the Wu family could judge their cultivation and realm through the energy left by him and the little fox on the 2 people. But it was too late. After practicing the Thunder King art of destruction, Yi Tian believed that even if he was standing in front of the head of the Wu family, the other party would not be able to connect his current energy with his previous energy. But just in case, I still have to improve my strength as soon as possible. If I become a martial king, I will not be afraid even if I face the head of the Wu family head-on. Yi Tian did not go home immediately with the little fox, but went straight to Wanbao Tower. Both the man and the fox were extremely handsome and beautiful, attracting the attention of many people along the way. The men were envious and jealous, and the women were shocked and crazy. The bolder women came up to ask for contact information, and some wanted to touch Fenner, but they were all slapped away by Yi Tian. Fenner was his own, how could he let others touch him? Not even women. Half an hour later, Yi Tian came to Wanbao Tower. He found a place where no one was and took out a set of loose black clothes, a black hat, and a basket covered with black cloth that he had bought long ago. The black clothes and black hat were prepared by Yi Tian for himself, and the basket was prepared for the little fox. He had too many items on him. General-level weapons, a bunch of space bags, space rings, and a large number of other level weapons and other items. Yi Tian didn't want to expose himself, even if it was the Thunder Martial Arts School. Who knows if there are people from the Wu family in the Thunder Martial Arts School. Once he sold these distinctive things with his real identity, there is a great possibility that he would be traced by the people of the Wu family. In addition, Yi Tian didn't want the people of the Thunder Martial Arts School to know that he killed someone from the Wu family. Seeing that Yi Tian wanted to hide his identity, the little fox said at the right time, "Yi Tian, Fenrir doesn't need to go into the basket. Did you forget to move the holy ring?" Yi Tian, who happened to be wearing black clothes, looked at Fenrir in confusion and asked, "Fenrir, what do you mean? Can the holy ring of moving also hold living things? But I don't remember that the holy ring of moving has this function." During this time, Yi Tian was refining the holy ring of transfer and had a better understanding of this holy grade space ring. She didn't remember that living things could be placed in the holy ring of transfer. Seeing that Yi Tian didn't know, Fenrir explained, "Yi Tian, ordinary space equipment cannot be loaded with living things because the time inside is static, which repels living things, making it impossible to put living things in. But there is a time flow array in the holy ring of transfer. You can divide a specific area so that the time flow there is consistent with the outside, and then you can put living things in." After listening to Fenrir's introduction, Yi Tian immediately became interested and nodded and said, "Okay, I'll try it." After that, Yi Tian tried it according to the method Fenrir said, and he mastered this ability after a while. It's actually very simple. As long as you use the vitality to isolate an area, and then let the vitality activate the time flow array in the holy ring, you can keep the time flow in this area consistent with the outside. Seeing that Yi Tian has learned it, Fenrir said, "Yi Tian, then you take Fenrir in." Fenrir plans to practice in seclusion for a while, break through to the king realm as soon as possible and then transform, but Yi Tian, if you encounter danger, you must notify Fenrir in time, okay? Obviously, Fenrir was worried that Yi Tian would be in danger while she was practicing in seclusion. Yi Tian rubbed Fenrir's little head and said with a smile, "Silly girl, have you forgotten that the holy ring of transfer can activate the holy light shield, which can block even the full force attack of a level 10 martial saint 3 times? And the holy ring of transfer can also transfer space. With these two functions, what dangers can hurt me in a small place like Anchang?" Yi Tian added in his heart that if he could still encounter danger like this, then his luck would be too bad. And if he encountered danger that the holy ring of transfer could not resolve, Fenrir must have no way. Hearing this, Fenrir stuck out her rosy little tongue and said with a smile, "Aren't I worried about you?" As she spoke, Fenrir suddenly became nervous again and warned, "Yi Tian, although the space teleportation function of the teleportation holy ring is very powerful, you must be very careful when using space teleportation, and never teleport into a space crack. Otherwise you will be like Fenrir and can't find your home." Fenrir's expression became depressed again as she spoke, and she thought of her family. Yi Tian has always been very curious about why Fenrir doesn't know the way home. She is a general level alien beast, since she can get out, how can she not know how to go back? After hearing what Fenrir said, Yi Tian understood, and comforted her for a while and asked, "Fenrir, is it because you fell into a space crack that you can't find your way home?" Fenrir nodded and said, "Well, when I was using teleportation to hurry on my way, I accidentally teleported into a space crack. When I finally escaped from the space crack, I came here. I looked for many places but couldn't find the way home. Later, I ate up the food in the space ring, and could only eat some wild fruits to fill my stomach every day." At this point, Fenrir became very embarrassed and looked at Yi Tian with a red face. Seeing Fenrir's embarrassed and shy look, Yi Tian smiled dumbly. Of course, he understood why Fenrir was embarrassed. Fenrir was obviously attracted by his barbecue because she hadn't eaten cooked food for a long time. And because of this, she became attached to him. Knowing that Fenrir came here because she entered the space crack, Yi Tian also took her words to heart and said seriously, "Fenrir, you can practice with peace of mind, I will be careful." After that, Yi Tian put Fenrir into the teleportation holy ring. After making sure that she was fine in the teleportation holy ring, Yi Tian put on a black hat and walked towards Wanbaolo. "Guest, what do you need?" A female staff member saw Yi Tian coming in, and was not surprised by his dress. She walked up to Yi Tian and said with a smile, I want to sell some things, take me to a separate room. Although this female staff member was not Xiaofeng who had received Yi Tian before, Yi Tian still made his voice hoarse just in case. Okay, sir, please follow me. Led by the female staff member, Yi Tian soon came to a room. Yi Tian did not say much, and directly took out the things to sell. The room was very large, but it was soon filled with the things Yi Tian took out. A lot of corpses of strange beasts. There were iron claw monkeys hunted by Yi Tian himself, and there were also strange beasts he got from the space bags of some other practitioners, such as tusk wild boars, armored rhinos, long-armed iron apes, etc. There were so many that the female staff member couldn't close her mouth for a long time. Her eyes were wide open, and the whole person seemed to be standing there motionless. And these were only half of the strange beast materials on Yi Tian's body. There were still many in his space ring, and even various weapons and other items had not been taken out. But even these things shocked the female staff member. Then Yi Tian took out 20 to 30 weapons of various kinds, including some medium and high-level weapons, as well as several general-level weapons. Yi Tian even took out all the general-level weapons he got from Wang Jinglin and Wu Xuanming. He had no use for these weapons, so it was better to sell them for money than to keep them on him. The starting value of general-level weapons was 8 or 9 million, and the better ones could be sold for 13 or 14 million. As for whether he would be recognized as the one who killed Wu Xuanming by the people of Thunder Martial Arts School, Yi Tian was also prepared, and he didn't care even if he was recognized. Anyway, the other party couldn't recognize his true identity in this outfit. After he left Wanbao building, he would just move away. Who could find him? First, sir, your things are too valuable. I can't make the decision. I'll ask our eldest lady to come and receive you. Please drink some tea here and wait for a while. Looking at the room full of exotic beast materials, the precious generals, weapons, space bags and space rings placed on the table, the female staff member began to stutter, not being as eloquent as a service staff. Okay, Yi Tian nodded in agreement, but was surprised to see Yao Ruowu here. I hope she won't find out it's me. Yi Tian immediately drank the tea on the table and waited. Not long after, a familiar figure walked in. Sir, please wait a moment, I will help you calculate the price of these items, and please rest assured that our Thunder Martial Arts School has always been customer-oriented and will never disclose the items you sell here, as well as your news. Yao Ruowu walked in and saw the corpses of strange beasts all over the room, but she didn't care. However, when she saw several familiar general-level weapons and space rings on the table, she showed surprise on her face. The murder of the third young master of the Wu family was a hot topic in the entire Anchang city, and she naturally knew about it. She also saw the pictures of the items on Wu Xuanming, Wang Jinglin, Sun Dao and others that the Wu family announced to the public, asking the discoverer to provide clues to the Wu family. After seeing these familiar things, Yao Ruowu immediately determined that the man in black in front of her was the person that the Wu family was looking for with a huge reward. However, this had nothing to do with her, so she immediately expressed her attitude to Yi Tian. Yi Tian knew what Yao Ruowu meant, nodded and said in approval, I believe in your character, so I came here to sell these things. Please count them. Yi Tian came here to sell these things because he knew the reputation of Lei Ting Martial Arts School, and now he didn't have to worry about Yao Ruowu anymore. However, in order to prevent Yao Ruowu from discovering that it was him, Yi Tian didn't say much and asked Yao Ruowu to start counting the items. Yao Ruowu nodded and started to work. She took out a pen and paper and started to count the bodies and materials of the alien beasts. She was a military commander with extensive experience, so she quickly counted all the bodies and materials of the alien beasts and marked the recycling prices. Then Yao Ruowu began to count weapons, elixirs, combat uniforms, skills, martial arts, cultivation insights, space bags, space rings and other items. Yi Tian only took out 2 space rings. One was obtained from Wang Jinglin and the other was obtained from Wu Xuanming. Yi Tian planned to keep the remaining space ring of the cave owner for his own use, which could also be used to disguise the real thing and hide the holy ring. Yi Tian also left 2 100 cubic meter space bags to give to his parents. Yi Tian, who was used to using space equipment, only wanted to say 2 words, it smells good. He naturally had to give his parents a copy of such a good thing, which was also considered to be his filial piety. After killing more than 30 people from the Wu family, Yi Tian got a lot of space bags alone, and there was no shortage of space bags for his parents. Soon Yao Ruowu finished counting all the items. She handed a long list to Yi Tian and said, "Sir, I have counted them. All the items and prices you sold are listed on it. Do you see if there are any mistakes? If not, I will recycle them according to the prices listed." Okay. Yi Tian put down his teacup and took the list handed over by Yao Ruowu to check it. The list was full of beautiful handwriting. The name, grade, quality, price, etc. of each item were written clearly and meticulously. Yi Tian read 10 lines at a glance and quickly finished reading the information on it. There was no problem with the number and grade of items recorded on it. Only the quality of some items was different from what Yi Tian had estimated at the beginning. However, the prices given by Yao Ruowu were higher than the prices Yi Tian estimated himself. Yi Tian naturally had no objection to this. However, although the quality of Wu Xuanming and Wang Jinglin's space rings, generals and soldiers, and combat uniforms were the same as Yi Tian estimated, the prices given by Yao Ruowu were lower than the recycling prices on the market. Seeing Yi Tian's eyes focused on these items, Yao Ruowu explained, "Sir, I won't ask how you got these generals, combat uniforms and space rings, but now there are pictures of these weapons and items everywhere. If I want to resell them, I have to remelt them to change their appearance, or send them to other cities to sell, so the recycling price is lower than the recycling price on the market. I hope you can understand." In fact, Yi Tian can understand without Yao Ruowu's explanation. After all, these things are black goods, and Leiting Martial Arts School is willing to accept him. He is already very satisfied. Naturally, he doesn't mind that the other party lowers the price, and the price is not much. Yi Tian nodded and said, "I understand, and I have no objection to this price. Please take these beasts away, I still have some beast corpses and beast materials to sell. Are there any more?" Okay. Hearing Yi Tian's words, Yao Ruowu was slightly stunned. But she understood when she saw the space bags on the table. Yao Ruowu waved her hand and sent out a stream of energy to take away all the beasts and beast materials in the room. Seeing this, Yi Tian took out all the remaining beast corpses and materials in the space ring and filled the room again. Yao Ruowu counted them again. This time, because there were only beast corpses and materials, she finished the count in a short time and gave Yi Tian a list. Yi Tian glanced at it and shook his head to indicate that he had no objection. He was very excited in his heart because the total price was too high. The total price on the previous list was more than 91.1 million. The total price on the later count was more than 5.2 million. The total was more than 96.3 million. Yao Ruowu rounded it up and gave Yi Tian 97 million. This number naturally made Yi Tian very happy. If all of it was converted into wealth value, it would be close to 1 million. If it was used to improve his strength, it was unknown to what level his strength could be improved. Although he was very excited, Yi Tian still controlled himself and calmed himself down. Seeing that Yi Tian had no objection, Yao Ruowu said, "It's good that you have no objection, sir. I wonder if you need me to pay you with yuanxi or yuan coin." Yi Tian did not hesitate at all about this question and directly asked Yao Ruowu to pay with yuanxi. Yuan coin payment requires his bank account, so Yi Tian naturally would not choose it. Okay. Yao Ruowu nodded, and then asked Yi Tian to wait. She waved her hand and took out 5 standard suitcase-sized mahogany boxes from the space ring. Each mahogany box was engraved with a forbidden yuan formation to prevent the yuan qi inside from escaping. "Sir, these boxes are all low-grade yuanxi. Each box has 2,000 low-grade yuanxi. These are yours, you can count." Yao Ruowu took some yuanxi from a box while talking, and opened all the remaining 4 boxes. Suddenly, a stream of yuanxi rushed to his face, and soon the concentration of yuanxi in the room increased by several %. Yi Tian took a glance and confirmed that it was correct, then put all the mahogany boxes into his space ring. Then he said goodbye to Yao Ruowu and left Wanbao Building. After leaving Wanbao Building, Yi Tian found an empty park, and the smile on his mouth could hardly be suppressed. System, recharge 8,700 low-grade yuanxi. Yi Tian did not let the system recharge all, but left 1,000. Yi Tian planned to find a store to exchange it for yuan coins to give some to his father, and keep the rest for his daily expenses. I believe that with this money, my father can completely give up his job, and he can take care of my mother at home, watch TV series, or practice. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining 870,000 points of wealth. System: practice the Silent Thunder honored skill. With a lot of money in hand, Yi Tian waved his hand and directly let the system practice. Ding! Consume 200,000 points of wealth, and practice the Silent Thunder honored skill to perfection. Ding! Consume 300,000 points of wealth, and practice the Silent Thunder honored skill to the state of mind. When the system prompt sounded, Yi Tian's body underwent earth-shaking changes. The amount of Silent Thunder Qi in his dantian continued to decrease, but the purity and solidity were rapidly increasing, and then filled with a mysterious feeling. Yi Tian knew that this was the mind. His current Qi already contained the true mind of Silent Thunder, and only when it reached the mind could the true power of Silent Thunder Qi burst out. If the power of Silent Thunder Qi was 1 before, then it would be 2 after practicing to perfection, and it would double to 4 after practicing to the mind. In general, Yi Tian's combat power at the same level has increased 3 times compared to before. Yi Tian immediately became interested in testing. He came to an empty park and casually shot out a wisp of annihilation thunder energy, which landed silently on the ground in the forest. Bang! There was a loud noise. When the ground came into contact with this feather-like annihilation energy, it was like throwing a piece of sodium the size of a rubber into the water, and a violent reaction occurred in an instant. A large pit with a diameter of 4 or 5 feet and a depth of 6 or 7 meters was blown up, and all the surrounding trees were turned into powder. Is this the power of the annihilation thunder energy with intention? It's really extraordinary. If I use all my strength, it would be easy to blow up this park directly. Yi Tian was also shocked by the destructive power caused by this wisp of annihilation thunder energy. But immediately afterwards, his face was filled with strong excitement and joy. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.